video game history. Made a start way back in the 80s on the NES. And here we are at GDQ. We've never had a Zelda Relay here before. And for the first time, we're about to get Zelda 1, Zelda 2, and A Link to the Past back-to-back. 9 of the best runners of these 3 games right here live for you guys. If you guys are ready for a historic Zelda race, can we get some noise from the crowd here? My name's James. I go by JSR. And with me tonight is my co-commentator, Jamevil. Jam, are you ready for this, man?
I think this is going to be a fantastic race. How about you guys? Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll check it, send it over to the runners and see if they're ready. To my right, we have Darkwing Duck, who's going to be doing commentary for Zelda 1. We have a slew of other commentators that'll be joining us as the race goes on. And yeah, let's see if they are ready.
All right, so we have 3 teams competing tonight in Zelda 1, Zelda 2, The Adventure Link, and A Link to the Past. Teams, how are we doing up there? You guys all ready to go? We're gonna introduce these teams one by one, starting with Team P-Hat, Cantaloupe Me, Justin Man 114, and Blunt Bunny. Team number 2, Team Pro TGMH, that is Green Mario, Pro JN, and TGH. And then finally, Team Sitting Sideways, that is RC Drone, Reservaix, and Josh RTA. 9 of the best, Jam, and they're ready to go.
Yeah, let's kick it off with some Zelda 1, whenever you all are ready.
Crowd, we need some help here. Let's get a countdown. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
All right.
Awesome. It's glad I'm privileged to be here to help with the Zelda 1 commentary tonight. First thing we're going to see, it's going to look weird for anybody who hasn't seen Zelda 1 before. We're going to see a couple screens being changed here. It's not that hard to glitch anymore, but to not be too technical, basically you trick the game into skipping the transition trigger, so you're able to just wrap around the screen, and we're already 30 seconds into level 3.
So competing tonight are 3 of the best. All of these runners, sub-29 runners. Cantaloupe Me, a longtime veteran, the second sub-29 ever. Most completed runs of this category of any runner that we know of. And believe it or not, after 1,042 runs, this will be his 1,043rd and his final. He is going to retire the category officially. He wanted everyone to know that tonight. This will be his last any % no up A run.
And looks like we had some run of bad luck here where you'll hear us talk a lot about counters in this game. This isn't like fighting game counters. It's like actual counters on item drops and consecutive drops. You hear that a lot. Basically, runners are going to be counting their kills without getting hit and counting where they are in the drop counter so they can get better chances at bombs or guaranteed bombs, mostly, sometimes some 5 rupees here and there. Got some nervous bombs there when you have no bomb, using your last bomb to get bombs. It's always a little bit of a scary situation to make sure you don't get bombs.
It's very thankful that he did get that bomb because the backup is kind of out of the way.
We see a fairy drop there by one of down here and Team Sitting Sideways. And that's actually consecutive. Darkness don't generally drop fairies, the red ones. So he had killed, that was the 16th enemy he killed without getting hit. So he got a fairy instead of any other drop, which in that case was actually bad because he didn't want a fairy, he wanted a bomb.
Yeah, an interesting run of bad luck for all 3 of the runners. So I guess bad fortune being fortunate for all 3 of these guys early on.
And we've got, all right, the scariest part of the run right here. Look at that, look at that.
1 down, 2 down.
2 down.
Come on. We got them all.
All down. All right, that's great. That is, and it's really close. That's amazing. The scariest part of the run is 2.5 minutes into it.
He dropped his wallet.
Oh, we got oh, that's going to be interesting for Green Mario there. We got what we call a pirouette, an unwanted pirouette to get back into a dungeon. We will be doing that at level 1, but we didn't want to see it there. And that's actually going to change his spawn patterns. So he's going to have to really scramble here in level 4. The other 2 will be fine because they've got the same spawn patterns that they expect. You play the game the same, do the same screens the same way every time, you're going to get the same spawn patterns. So he's going to have to really kind of guess and improvise, so that we'll see how he does here.
pretty tight early on here. About a 10-second lead for Cantaloupe as we enter level 4.
Yeah, it's also a good thing that they all got the bomb drop off that Manhattan. Not only getting the kill, but also getting the bomb drop. Because bombs are very important in level 4.
Yeah. Pretty standard bomb levels here. Nothing too bad, nothing too great though. Especially in a in a marathon type setting where you don't have a, that's a nice force bomb there up top right. It's going to be interesting to see how this game is played by the runners today because it might be surprising, but you can get the best times in this game using different routes. There's no guaranteed one route that you can get a record in or a great time in. And you actually might see these runners change their strategies based on their counts, both in bombs and rupees.
Yeah, we do know for a fact that Cantaloupe prefers the world record route, the common 30-30 blue candle route, whereas I know for a fact that Green Mario prefers the Kanana route, a relatively recent route. So definitely going to probably, maybe, see a route divergence.
Yeah, we should. We should see some route divergence, and RC Drone's going to be doing whatever suits his counts that he gets as he goes through. So it's very interesting to see how they'll play also based on the fact that they're not just playing for themselves, they're playing for a team. So they might be a little bit less risky or more risky, just depends how they feel on when they have runners behind them.
Exactly. We're just 4 minutes into a race that's probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 3 hours and 10 minutes, give or take. I know the world record, if you combine all 3 world records, is about 3 hours and 5 minutes, give or take a few seconds. There's actually a webpage that's been set up by one of the runners tonight, Rezovaix. He's one of the Zelda 2 runners on Sitting Sideways. And that website, for anybody who's interested in more Trilogy information, it is zeldatrilogy.com, has a leaderboard and all the information you need to get started.
All right, we're going to have an interesting Gleeok here. You look at top left, Cantaloupe has 1 bomb. He's going to maybe try to force a bomb off this Gleeok here. He is not, which he might be taking a different route here. This is the second scariest, and everybody looks okay. It was kind of scary, but they made it look like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And we're tied.
Look at the sink.
Definitely the hardest part of the run right here is getting it out of 4. Yeah, Cantaloupe does have backups. He can go to level 2 after level 1 as opposed to going to level 5. He was doing that in practice as well.
You can see the divergence in routes already. We got 11-1 on top left, 11-8 on top right, 15-5 on bottom left. So it's nowhere near each other. So, and it's nothing you can do about it in a lot of cases. It's just how random drops can work in this game. So there are going to be differences in routes.
As we see the almost sync between Team P-Hat and Team Pro TGMH as we go into level 1. Green Mario, our runner-up into level 1. World record holder in Little Ninja Bros is one of his very first speed games. Relatively recent Zelda 1 runner, wants to grind Zelda 1 until he gets the best time that he possibly can and just improve himself as a speedrunner. He has that mentality, comes from a Smash Melee background, so a very skilled gamer.
Wow.
Okay, we see top right that is definitely not going to be doing rupee route, so he could have gone and gotten that 5 rupee that dropped, but decided not to because he's going to be doing a completely different route.
We see Drone got to put 10 rupees in that Stalfos room just now, might have put him back on track.
Yeah, we'll see. We see if he gets a bomb in this.
All right, lucky bomb.
He did. All right, so yeah, top left definitely needed that bomb.
So as we collect the raft here, our item here in level 1, this will be a good shot for a few of our first donations here.
Sounds great. We have $25 from Tyrillis. Says, have to donate during the Zelda Relay. I'm a new runner and just starting to learn ALTTP and ALTTPR runs. Thank you to all the runners and streamers who reminded me how much I love these games.
Go ahead, keep going on him. But it says level 1 is like one of the most basic
great.
levels.
Scrivo sends $50, says, hello, Scrivo here, ALTTP speedrun community resident dad dropping in to tell Blunt, Josh, TGH, and the Z1, Z2 runners good luck, have fun, go fast, and don't hug the pig.
Oh, we had a little bit of a mistake here on top right. He hit enemy he hit Aquamentus with a sword as the bomb was being exploded, so he didn't get credit for the damage with the bomb, which does 4 damage rather than his 1 of the sword, so he had to spend a little bit extra time to kill him. This is where we're going to see the, oh, we're really close. I hear that out there in the crowd. It's really close, and this is where we're going to start seeing our route divergence here.
Yeah, 6-second lead for Green Mario and Pro TGMH. And the two different routes that we're going to see depend on
I'd say
the...
three.
I'm sorry?
There's a good chance we get 3 different routes here.
Yeah, you might be right. And we'll see if they decide to alt down to 2. So let's see. He's going to bomb it. I think he's going to 2.
Yeah. Well, top rights definitely. At 16 rupees, have to do the 2 route, essentially. All right, we get to see here. Okay, down into 2. Probably getting the 30 secret on the way.
So it looks like he's running the Kanana route. Darkwing, do you if anyone wanted to know about the Kanana route, there's a really cool trick that puts this route together. Relatively recent glitch that was found by Roo Slugs. Maybe you want to tell them about that so they can get excited when time comes for it.
Okay, I can talk about the Roo Slugs. You want to ask someone about the Kanana route, you got to ask something different, not me. I'm not going to. But there's a lot of NES games have, when you have 2 things happen at once, the game doesn't like it, and Zelda's no different. So in this case, you have 2 things happening where if you use the recorder, you know, the whistle tornado comes and picks you up, takes you to a new stage. But if you hit that at the same time you hit a raft location, you're going to, it's going to trick the game out, and it does various different things. So what it does is takes you actually wherever dungeon the tornado is going to take you, it's going to take you 1 screen up and 1 screen left from where that actual location is, which is going to be important later on the route. You'll be able to get to level 6 a lot faster than anybody else. That's the benefit of that. And we see the difference here. We see bottom left, that's Cantaloupe in 5. I think it's Cantaloupe.
No, that's
Drone. Drone's in 5. Okay, I got to get these matched up properly, which is kind of what we expected. We have 2 routes and 1 level 5. This Dark Nut room that Drone bottom left's going into is very important in the time sync, or we'll see if it goes real fast.
Yeah, the scariest room probably in the entire run, just because if you run out of bombs here, you're in big trouble. He's doing a very nice job.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a rough start, but it's going great since.
Yeah, good use of the vulnerability frames when you're damaging enemies. Got through that room clean, still has a bomb.
What you saw, there was something in 2 you saw earlier. You saw a bomb drop and about 30 bombs drop. That's actually another little kind of bug in the game where gorillas, when they throw their boomerangs and they're hit, and there's a master one where if you kill one, they all die, that boomerang keeps going. And if it comes back to an item, it changes the value of the item that's dropped into a bomb. So you can get so many bombs out there, and it's a nice little thing when bombs are so important in the game.
So P-Hat and TGMH staying step in step throughout the beginning of this run. And meanwhile, sitting sideways, looking okay. He's got a bomb left. That's perfect for this boss coming up.
Oh, yeah, the 1 bomb for sitting sideways. One of the, well, you saw the mistake earlier on the Aquamentus where we missed the sword. If you hit the enemy with 2 different attacks on the same frame, it does both of their damage worth. So we're going to hopefully see that, so you can do 5 damage instead of 4. You hit them with a bomb and a thing. And also, once you run out of bombs, it goes to the next item in your list. In this case, it'll be the recorder. So you'll be able to drop the bomb, use the recorder to break up Dig Dogger, because he dislikes certain types of sounds, from what I've heard. That's just a rumor I've heard.
I heard it was country music.
Oh, country music? Well, that would be everybody, wouldn't it?
Oh,
I'm going to get a lot of bad news about that, that's for sure.
But yeah, just saving that menu time from going from the bombs to the whistle is very important.
Good recovery for Drone. He takes down Dig Dogger, and we're out of 5.
Yeah.
Ooh, good start to this recorder room, also known as the Olive Garden, the room of requirement. Many nicknames for this room, and nice one for both.
Wait. This game has nicknames for rooms? You got to teach me some of these.
I mean, unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Well, they're only coming here for the breadstick.
That's what it is.
Yeah. It's not like there's a breakfast room or a magical breakfast room or... If you join the community, you'll learn these rooms fast because we usually name the most like important combat rooms in the game. So it's like, it's this first room 2 screens north of 1. Just give it a special name and everybody knows it. I'm sure Super Metroid runners kind of would relate to that, I would imagine.
Yeah, very much so.
So now RC Drone doing the world wrap, a very technical series of screen scrolls and ladder clips that's going to allow him to warp to the other side of the map.
And he's been struggling a little bit in practice. Well, one other thing that, for runners of this game, it's if you kind of compare it to a sports event, it's like every one of these runners is on the road. They're not using their home TV. They're using their home controllers, but they're on completely unfamiliar environments. So they have to get used to all these new things that they're using. So the screen scroll is a pretty tight movement that if you're at home, you do it fine without an issue, but you have to kind of relearn it on every different TV you play it on. So if you miss that world wrap one, you're losing like 40 seconds.
Not to mention the several hundred people in the audience. So thank you all for joining us tonight for this.
There might be a few people at home as well.
Yeah, it might be a few.
A few dozen.
Yeah. And it's not like they can hear the audience back there cheering them on or anything. All right, we get the... So you see him going in the menu here at top left, Team P hat. He actually has to go to menu again. He's not going to in this case. He's just going to sort him down here. And good there.
All right, so both these runners will be leaving level 5, and before they get to the cool trick we were talking about earlier, and RC Drone goes through level 2, we have a good chance for some more donations.
Fantastic. We have $250 from Pronzo. So hyped for this historic race. Best of luck to all the runners. Big shout out to the Z1 crew. If bombs are needed, the runners should try forcing. Donation goes to JSR's choice, as long as it's not towards a Disney Princess TV.
I'll give it to winning team's choice.
So you saw, I mean, it's nice that Pronzo mentioned the bomb there, because you saw on the ones when, I can't remember who was in 2, got like 30 bombs when killing a... We had one happen at bottom left and there was no bombs. That's just this kind of game that you have to... this game is very read and react. You have to react to your situation differently. And we got it. He was nice to get up to 8 there, because that can be an issue if you're not up to 8 on that route.
So the 2 top runners doing their purchasing now. They're going to purchase the bait and the wooden arrows. They're going to help you in level 7, so they get past the hungry gorilla.
All right.
So this is actually where the routes kind of start to diverge. They still have one more...
Diverge?
To converge. Converge, thank you.
And, that's what I'm here for.
And one extra little stop they have to do after level 7.
Yeah.
And then we'll really know. That's when the race really begins.
Yeah. Level 7 is notorious for being easy. It's more of a maze, though. And in some routes and... what's the word I'm looking for? Help me out here. Routes, not routes. Categories. Thank you, Jay. Sorry, thanks for the help. It's level 7 is one of the hardest stages because you do take a lot of hits, but you have so many hearts it doesn't really matter that much, and they don't hit you that hard. But in some categories, it's really hard to get through it.
Yeah, 1 heart of damage over and over and over again definitely adds up.
Yeah.
It's death by 1,000 pinpricks.
Yeah.
But there is one concern on Team P-Hat's side, though. If you notice, Cantaloupe entered level 7 1 bomb short.
Oh, he
So he's
did.
gonna have to get some bombs here.
There's ways to get it. In his route, it's a little bit easier to force a bomb, I think. At least the second try. The first one's probably no matter, but we'll have a couple chances to try to force a bomb. There's no real bomb-dropping enemies you forcibly kill on the route through level 7, so you have to force one, and it's hard because you get hit a lot. You see a nice little pause buffering here. He went to the menu to see if there's a boomerang shot up, and he saw one, so he was able to pause and wait for it to go by. Red candle, that's part of the Kanana route, is picking up the red candle and buying it. Nice little upstab there.
And
that's
RC
amazing.
Drone, down on Team Sitting Sideways, able to get the River Room bomb, a very difficult bomb force.
Yeah.
And he pulled it off very nicely there.
You see Kant here going after the red gorilla. That's the only bomb dropper, and he's not even going to mess around here. He's going to go ahead and sword these guys down. Okay, he was a little bit short on health, so that was a smart move there to use a bomb to help bring it down. See, this is part of the conservative routing here when you have other teammates that you have to deal with. You can lose a little bit of time here. You know, maybe lose the race by 5 seconds instead of losing 2-3 minutes just going for bombs. So that's a very, I think, smart decision by Team P-Hat. And that's important, though. You can't force a bomb now. He got hit right at the end by one of the fireballs. He's having a little bit of, it's been a little bit of a rough go for Team P-Hat here.
Yeah, Green Mario cutting it close there. Those wall masters take you right back to the start.
Yeah.
Using those invulnerability frames, though, to get through.
One advantage you'll see with Team Sitting Sideways is the different routes. He's going to have a much easier pattern here. You'll see Drone be able to just go down here, and hopefully these bubbles cooperate. Commentator's first, but he handled it very nicely. Well done.
He was going for a forced bomb drop there, but he was able to not get the wall master. He decided to get hit by the bubble, which was a much better choice. You sacrifice the bomb drop and get a bomb instead. All right, now bottom left looks like they're behind, but they don't have to do any more work. So it'll be interesting to see what happens once we get into level 6. Which is notorious for being hard, but in a speedrun, it's really not. We'll see what happens here. We'll see what the time differences are.
Yeah, RC Drone is going to be able to go straight to the magical sword here. Drone, of course, the defending champion of the 2019 Zelda 1 Randomizer Tournament, and currently sits second place in this category, and he said he's not done. He wants to go for that record, which has been held for a long time by our current world record holder, Lack Attack.
Boo. Well, I have issues with lag. Are you out there in the audience racing? Oh, hey, there you are. Yeah. He beat my record. No salt whatsoever.
So here it comes, our first attempt at the Roo Quarter.
Okay, you see he gets, he clips in there. He's actually got to worry about that Octorok shooting up. No, he's good. And you see the raft and tornado going at the same time, and all of a sudden he records to some weird place in the graveyard. Oh, we had to have a redo here. Oh, that's a good place to do it, yeah. Now, he's going to have to go. Is this? Okay, we're in the graveyard
We're in there.
Yeah, before he reset it, he whistled back.
Okay, I didn't, yeah, I hope so, because I looked over at the wrong times, like, did he do the right whistles? So we're still like, there's a little bit of separation here, but not a ton to where it's insurmountable both in this game and in the games following. One bomb though on the top right is, everybody's at one bomb, so no one has any like luck on their bomb drops in like level 7. So this is pretty standard. It could be a problem if they don't get any bombs in this stage, so that'll cause a lot of consternation, that's a good word, in level 8.
But luckily, no Gliaka shames in today's
Yeah,
runs.
there's definitely an opportunity to have 0 bombs entering this dungeon, and if you don't get any, you have to take a few extra rooms, which include a forced Gliok, which instead of a boss, becomes a mini-boss.
Nicely done. All right, Team Sitting Sideways, the first through Magical Breakfast Room 2. Slight lead here.
The problem with like these magical breakfast rooms is that they can be a little bit, they're pretty random in their movements. There's some things you can predict and work on, but there's like a good 5 to 10 seconds of variation that you can just go through based on patterns that you don't have control over.
Oh man, that was close. Whew.
Yeah,
tough boss.
Oh yeah, Goma? Oh man, Goma is such an issue. All right, they're on very good pace actually. Like we're on potential sub 30 pace here.
Sub 30, not easy to do in a marathon setting.
It's never been done at a GDQ.
It's never been done at a GDQ.
So
Yet.
you have, you have to actually survive level 9 to get a sub 30. I wouldn't know about that.
Nicely done.
That's why I'm here and not up there, you know.
So look at, RC Drone does have the lead here, but you see him going on a little detour. And
Yeah, that's good. That's good. He got no bombs in level 6, which is a problem, but he got one. He can't go after another. He has the money to actually go buy a bomb drop if he really wanted to, but he's going to go ahead and go with 4. He does need another one, either forced or you have to do something extra in level 9, so it's something to keep an eye on.
So this room is special, as you can see, a lot of lag. These guys hit hard too.
Oh yeah, 2 arts of damage per hit. You're better off taking a fireball if you are in close combat range like that.
You know, that's pulling a Darkwing, by the way. Avoiding a half-heart fireball hit by hitting a Dark Knight and taking 2 damage. That's like that's what this run, that's like the one thing named after me for this game. Is something detrimental.
Well, at least, I mean, it could be worse.
I don't think it could be.
Well, luckily these Dark Nuts do drop health, except for when you don't need health. Then
Yeah.
when you actually need health, they decide they're not going to drop it.
Yeah.
Green Mario really flying here in level 8.
You got a fan club over there. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, bottom left here is getting his bomb drop there. There's several ways he could have gotten that extra bomb drop decided there, which again is a smart move in a team marathon setting. Make sure you have it.
All right, boss of level 8. 4-headed Gleeok. A little easier than previous Gleeoks, just having the Master Sword. Or, sorry, the Magic Sword. Never call it the
Yeah, Magic Sword, yeah.
Got 2 more games for that.
Was the white sword, the Gleeok is. Oh, we have a bomb drop. Oh, look at that. Nice top right. That's really good. Force bomb drop to get up to 8.
And look how close this is.
Yeah.
Just a few seconds as we head to level 9. This is getting good.
We had every runner's had bad bomb luck in level 6 and level 8.
I think now would be a great time for a few donations if you have any ready.
All right, yeah.
I have so many. The $10 donation train has been insane to watch. Thank you guys so much, everyone who has donated to that. We have $255 from John 40. Here's some rupees for the blue ring. Remember, it's dangerous out there.
All right, can't also force the bomb off Gleeok, which is really difficult to do when it's a 4-headed.
They're so close. This is so cool.
Share with us there, sorry. That's so cool.
Just love how close this is.
Oh,
and I anticipate this happening throughout the entire race. Of course, at the end of this last final stage of The Legend of Zelda, we're going to be having a short intermission between the games, about a minute of setup time for them to switch out to the next runners. And that'll give, that way they have some time to get in there. They don't have to stretch and leap quickly, like a lion.
All right, level 9. This is as scary as like Manhandla is, and it is. As scary as First Gleeok can be, and it is. This is the one where you can lose the most time. And again, I'm the expert on this. I know what it's like to lose time at level 9 in a marathon. I've done it a lot. So it's you want to force your bombs. Oh, he still got hit. He got a little I call it quarter-stepped or gridded or whatever he got, and he took 2 damage there bottom left. And we're even going into the next room.
This is insane. Different strats. You see Drone go down to the bottom of the room, and Mario goes up top, and he is the first out of the next room.
But he's got less health.
This is true. Cantaloupe right behind them. He's going to attempt to get through this Patrick clean.
Takes the hit a little bit late. Force bomb there. That's a pretty common thing to do off those walls because you can get up to 10 on the consecutive counter pretty quickly.
Oh, we just hit $500,000.
Nice.
Yo, can we get some noise, ladies and gentlemen? That is amazing.
Into the reverse C. Forced 5. He only has 1 bomb to spare here. Uses it perfectly. That is a great reverse C with 1 bomb. That's a great reverse C with 1 bomb.
One more on the bottom left.
very good down there. I would. Oh, he's not going to get the fairy. That should be okay.
Oh, that was awesome. Little swag sword there.
Yeah.
All right, so into the final stretch. Now, Green Mario does have a lot of health remaining. We could see him go for the aggressive strats here with Fast Patra. It's risky. Huh?
Well, he lost health. What commentator's curse?
I know.
Really? All right, Cantaloup's got to be a little bit safe here.
Oh, sword.
Yeah. All right.
Little precursor. We're already hearing Ganon.
Yep.
He's still quite a few rooms away.
It'll be interesting to see if Cantaloupe does not go through Patra 2. He just waits for it. Good room up there. You can see there's oh, that's a good room. There's a lot of variation in how you can do a lot of these rooms, and it's not too much difference in time. Kind of personal preference.
Nice use of the pause button there to kind of read the room down to 3 hearts. He's got to be a little careful here.
All right.
Speaking of careful, Cantaloupe me down to 1 heart remaining.
Good room now. Oh no! He got gridded up high. Oh. All right, we have first one up
Wow,
here in Ganon.
simultaneous cannons.
We got one lock down there, so Ganon will be done. So we'll have team sitting sideways through first.
All right.
Very nice runs.
It was a little scary that Ganon was getting away from him, but it cleaned him up nicely.
So team sitting sideways, our first finishers, and team Pro TGMH right behind. And coming up as their Zelda 2 representatives for Team Pro TGMH, we have Pro JN, former world record holder in Zelda 2, and Rezovaix for Team Sitting Sideways. And this, I'm telling you, if you like combat, Zelda 2 is like a choreographed dance, and we're gonna have a couple new nice.
That's important, Patra, to kill. You probably want those bombs anyway. And if he gets hit again, he has to go through, and that Patra has disappeared. He won't respawn again.
So joining us shortly, we have a few Zelda 2 runners that are going to be assisting us and telling you about this game. They're going to be getting started here very shortly. I just want to welcome to the commentator's booth Enchantress of Numbers. Ian, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited about this.
So going into this first cave is actually one of the most important parts of the entire run. Ian, what is so important about this cave?
Yeah, so the drops in this game are on a 6 count, and there are 6 enemies in this cave. The runners want to kill the last enemy around a correct grouping of frames that gives you the chance to get that 50-point P-bag that Rez just got. Pro JN did not get that one, unfortunately, but that sets you up to be 75% chance of getting attack 4 out of Palace 1. So.
Ooh, Cantaloupe.
Yeah, Cantaloupe on here has got the glitchy Patra here.
Very wonky, yeah.
Yeah, it's
So we do have a route divergence here. You see Pro JN going into the first town of the game, and Rezovaix decides to go a different way. What is going on there?
Yeah, so this is a relatively new development in the game. About a year ago, runner Lord of Ultima figured out sort of basically a manipulation of the RNG. By skipping Shield Town, you can get this encounter skip here much more consistently, but then you can also get it in the reverse direction, and then also it sets you up later for a clean walk to Palace 3.
All right, actually now would be a great time for a few donations if you have any.
You read my mind. I was just going to ask. We have $25 from Shikamaru. Says $500,000 hype. And $50 from Snoop says 500K hype. Here's $5 for every year in a decade of GDQ. Can we get a $5 train going, chat? Enchantress of Numbers gives $75, says good luck to the Zelda 2 runners. I'll donate an extra $20 for each runner that gets Eco Key. Zelda 2 crew represent.
Thanks, Eon, for that donation.
Yeah, you're welcome. So joining us at the commentator's booth is another Zelda 2 runner that is going to give us a hand in explaining the ins and outs of Zelda 2, the Adventure Link. Joining us is Nefarious Nosferatu. Nanos?
Yeah,
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I'm excited to see Zelda 2. One of my favorite speedruns to watch as well as run. It's like a dance, man. The combat is so fun.
Yeah, the combat is really tight in Zelda 2. But I mean, once you start getting used to the speed run, from a new player standpoint, might be a little bit hard. Once you get used to the speed run, it's very fluid.
Rez getting some swag beam wraps there.
Zelda 2 also has tons of swag as well. So we always
It's the only one of the. It's probably the game where swag can save you the most time.
Yes.
2 minutes in Palace 5. I mean, let's go.
You have time for a quick donation?
Absolutely, yeah, go for it.
$150 from Jabberwocky. It's dangerous for all of you to go alone. Take this. And we have $50 from Scruffy Koala. Good luck, Zelda runners. 500K hype!
Yeah, we can definitely do some more donations if you want to keep going.
Great. I have $100 from Ghost Mom. Says, so happy to be here for my first AGDQ. Also so proud of these runners and volunteers that are donating their time and talent for this worthy cause. Let's continue the fight against cancer. And that's my actual mom, you guys. Hi, Mom. Thank you.
Aw.
So one thing you might have noticed that was going on there, both on with JN and Rez, they were jumping over some Stalfos, and the reason they're doing that is, like I mentioned before, the drops are on a 6 count, and so they're manipulating, skipping the Stalfos to force their drop to be on the Stalfos later in the palace, which gives them a net increase of 20 XP. So makes that even more likely, or that helps out in the routing to get attack 4 as the goal. And we'll see very shortly when Rez gets his first chance at that 200-point P-bag drop. He needs just 1 out of 2 in order to get attack 4.
Yeah, the XP in Palace 1 and everything could be very tight. So if you're manipulating just those 20 experience points difference between a 50-point enemy and a 30-point enemy, it's a great help.
So now with Team P-Hat, we have joining us Justin Man 114, and he'll be getting started shortly. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Let's keep those donations going. We hit 500 grand tonight. Let's see if we can't get further during Zelda 2. Can we get to 550? Let's make some noise for everybody who's helped this great cause during this event. Let's keep it going.
All right, and you'll see the runners starting to make it here to the bottom level here. Horsehead being the boss of Palace 1. You'll see maybe going for double hits. We'll have to see here.
Time for donations?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ace Cage gives $25, says $500,000. Let's go, AGDQ.
Rez just got the second P-bag drop there, so he will be getting attack 4 out of Palace 1.
Yeah, so So here's the horse head fight, the first boss of Palace that you'll see. And very smooth fight. So we're finishing up, and you'll be seeing the experience. So you'll see the next level up,
Nice.
1,000 experience points.
And ProJN gets his bag as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, ProJN's gonna need another drop though, because he did not get that 50-point drop in Magic Cave.
right.
Justin also just went through Magic Cave and did not get that drop either. So he's gonna need a two 200-point drops to get that attack 4.
Yeah, so it looks like we'll have 2 runners going into Death Mountain with attack 4. We'll have to see if the next runner gets attack 4 as well.
JN is gonna be 2 experience short if he doesn't get the.
Let's get
He
the
gets
bag
it.
fight. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, if he did not get that P bag, he was gonna be 2 experience short of getting attack 4.
Yeah, and that really attack 4 at their level and everything like that, it could save probably about 10 seconds, but
Yeah.
it's definitely a lot less of a headache.
And of course, ProJN, you know, he's an experienced runner, one of the longest tenured runners of Zelda 2, former world record holder of this category, currently holds the FDS, 100% all keys world record, and he wants everyone to know, go Sweden!
Yeah, raise that flag.
All right, so next we have the jump spells, what they're going to be getting. Jump spell allows you to jump very high. And then they'll be going on to a next cave where they'll be using it just about immediately. It's, of course, 100% on key, so it is required to get all the spells in the category. And then you're seeing a little bit of the overworld manipulations as well. The overworld, it could be the biggest time loss. It's a kind of really a big RNG spot in Zelda 2. And we try our best to manipulate out as much of those walks as we can.
Yeah, it's so an overworld encounter is gonna cost you about 7 seconds every time you take one of those. If you get it on a path or if it's a fairy encounter, that's gonna be about half of that at 3.5 seconds. So those can add up very quickly.
All right, so team sitting sideways with the lead out of Jumptown, led by Rezovaix. Rez loves Zelda games so much, he is the person who started the Zelda Trilogy leaderboard and runs all 3 games at a very high level. He wants to get to a 114 in Zelda 2 as well, would be the 3rd person, I believe, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Or, no, 4th.
Fourth person, fourth person, excuse me.
Good time for donations?
Absolutely.
We have $5 from Randus, who says, I would make a Zelda pun, but I don't want to try and force it.
10 out of 10. Keep them coming.
We have $100 from Malumet, says, it's dangerous to go together? Anyways, take this.
Thank you so much for that. That's awesome.
All right, and so the walk we're doing here is to Bagu. You always want to try and get 0 encounters on the way to Bagu. And then they'll hand you a note that you can give to the Riverman in the next town.
Oh, Bagu. I know Bagu.
Oh, you know Bagu?
Yeah.
Wait, I don't think I do.
Well, then you can't cross.
Oh.
That's actually a very difficult walk to do. There's a lot of random walks that can catch you in that swamp, and that's an even bigger time loss than a normal encounter.
Right, yeah, because you move at about half the speed when you're in that swamp. So we try to speed it up by jumping, but it's probably closer to 8 or 9 seconds.
All right, and in this town, you'll see a team sitting sideways going to be getting the life spell. Zelda 2 actually has one of the few canon appearances of Zelda actually talking.
Link talking.
Link talking.
I think you got it right the first time.
I think it's Zelda, right?
Yeah.
Zelda's green tunic?
No, see, Zelda's the princess. You control Zelda's monster.
So we're getting a life spell, which is very useful. There's no fair. Well, there are fairies, but in the combat and everything like that, the life spell will allow you to get a lot more life. So if you take a little bit of hits, you have to cast the life spell, use the magic up. So that's where you get it.
And you'll notice some interesting uses of life. Players might use it when, even if they just take one small hit, because there are some rooms where having the beams really helps a lot, and so it's worth it to use all that magic just to get those beams back.
Yeah, especially you'll see later in Death Mountain a screen wrap.
Yeah.
We already saw at least one screen wrap that Rez pulled off with swag. So. Zelda 2 is a game where swag points do matter. We count them and tally them. Oh, you know Bagu? Then I can help you cross.
So, when Link gets under the table to find that mirror, is he speaking out loud?
I always believed there was a note attached to it, like, hey, I found this mirror, and then they put it back.
Because if he is, it's got to be the only time he ever speaks out loud, correct?
There are a couple of other times, you don't really see him in the speedrun, but there are a couple of other places in the game where it's similar kinds of things, like talking about hearing a knock at a door or something like that.
Good reaction there by Justin, man. Down to half a heart remaining, was able to avoid that bot. He's going to pick up this fairy just for safety.
Yeah, especially in a marathon run, that fairy definitely is something you can pick up. And then here we have Death Mountain, Team Sitting Sideways, and Team Pro GMH will be going there shortly. So in Death Mountain, I believe Rez does 4-2-2 leveling. Their leveling is very tightly routed, especially up until Palace 2. And you'll just want to try to hit your experience points at certain levels so you can skip enemies.
Oh, we got P-bags.
Nice.
Attack 4 for everyone, I am so happy.
That's actually pretty rare.
Super rare,
Yes.
especially for double P-bag, yeah.
Yeah, even in races and everything like that, we just finished the 100 Zonal Keys tournament. Not many of the races had Attack 4 from both racers.
Of course, leveling so important here in Death Mountain. So many tough enemies, even for runners of this caliber, and being able to refill your magic and health naturally and not having to farm jars is just such a boon.
Yeah, there are runners that will actually basically in Death Mountain be able to take your life level ups and magic level ups, and you count on that to be able to like regain your beam. So you just saw like Rez just basically cast life here to make sure they got the beam back for that room. That allows you to basically do a certain combat technique and everything, so you can make your beams hit the bats, just go straight through the room.
So pretty sure all this good P-bag luck is from all the donations coming in, so thank you all so much for that. Let's keep them coming.
Yeah, if we can just keep on getting those donations going.
Speaking of which, is this a good time for one?
Sure.
Yes.
We have $30 from Big Sister. Says, my little sister asked for donations to AGDQ for her big 30th birthday. Happy birthday, Kai.
Hey, happy birthday.
And so we have the Hammer Cave here, another spot where we want to beam, and you just saw another swag beam wrap from Rez.
Run confirmed.
Yeah. 2 swag points.
Oh, I'll tally you, I'm sorry.
And then this red die right here, you want to make sure you don't leave the screen before you get the experience points. If you leave the screen before you get the experience points from that Dyra will it'll first make your 6 count go up, but that Dyra will come back as you're going back, and it's automatically giving you at least 1 hit. And with Life 2, it's a lot of damage.
It's not a good time for anyone involved.
Not at all.
As a kid, before I knew the speed run, I did not know how to fight these Dyras, and you jump at them and they just move with you. And of course, we know now how to fight them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and you'll see, talking about that, they do read your D-pad, but because of that, you can manipulate them, and you can see they're doing some really fancy D-pad work to get these double hits on them, because you got to stay close enough to kind of be inside their hitbox to do those.
That was a lot of words to say that the game cheats. We all know.
It cheats until you learn how to cheat back.
Right, yes.
And a lot of enemies do that, not just the Dyras.
Yeah, most of the enemies in the game, you'll see the Iron Knuckles and everything, they do track your movement, so that definitely is something that you'll see runners just basically, once they jump, they'll let go of the D-pad, manipulate that.
Zelda 2 definitely gets a bad rap as a bad game. It's definitely not a bad game, but very difficult casually if you don't understand the leveling system and how the enemies move.
And then little fun fact, the entirety of the Zelda 1 map, you just saw Zelda 1 be completed. is there at the very bottom of Death Mountain.
That blew my mind when I learned that.
It is really accurate, too, when you look at it.
I still like to think that in Breath of the Wild, the maze at the top right of the map was a throwback to Zelda 2.
I think it was.
I think it was
Maze
too, yeah.
Island, yeah.
Team sitting sideways, the first out of Death Mountain. And as he heads up to this bridge, we're gonna see some crazy D-pad shenanigans happening here. This might be another good chance for a few donations.
Great. We have $250 from Meg McAttack, rooting for everyone from the back couch. Special shout outs to the Zelda 1 and 2 communities, my speedrunning homes away from home. Put this toward glitching Ocarina of Time. Thanks, Meg McAttack.
Woo, thanks, Meg.
$25 from Poppy. Poppy says, Zelda Relay hype. So happy I'm getting to catch this live. Donation incentive goes to winning team's choice.
Hype!
Okay, so up here we have a manipulation. It's called Boulder Dash. You see him taking an encounter in this very specific tile right there after the boulder break. So that basically allows them to do the walk, as you'll see here. I'll just walk up there. And of course, fairy spawn. So right now is also a good time to talk about fairies.
Great segue.
Well, fairies are good, aren't they?
They do refill your health.
Yeah, but so in a casual standpoint, they're great. But in a speed run, you don't want the fairies. The walks are just completely random. We can't predict them. Typically, you go up and left or up and right to avoid stuff. Fairies are just all over the place. So it's automatic, 3.5 second time loss.
I think the rule is if you're trying to get a fairy encounter, it'll run away from you. But if you're trying to avoid it, it's going to come.
Yeah, the game knows.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, the game does.
Yeah, game cheats.
Meanwhile, Justin Man picking up the life spell, and Justin actually is the defending All Keys tournament champion, won the last tournament in 2019, wants to also achieve the 74 in All Keys, and after he's done with that, he says Zelda 1 is next. He wants a 29.
Good goal.
Bold statement.
All right, so we got JN doing the Boulder Dash. Oh, he tried to go for it. He didn't want to wait for the encounter, so we'll see what he does. There's a strategy for some... Oh, he's doing Cat's Tile, which is a common backup recently discovered.
Yeah, that was lots of strategies were kind of discovered here, and another fairy spawn for Rez. I know Rez is not happy at all.
It was discovered by Cats on Your Head last
Yeah, Cats on Your Head last year. So lots of strategies have been coming into 100% All Keys, which has been running the same route for quite a while, but a lot of stuff coming out in the past year.
Team sitting sideways, first into this town. There's 2 stops we have to make in this town. What are we looking for here?
So first thing, we got to make use of that jump spell to get up into the top door of this church to meet a powerful knight, get the downstab technique. Very powerful sword technique. We'll see it used all the time.
Yeah, it allows you to basically mash.
Yeah, it basically, so standing stab has a wind-up, and so it's pretty slow. A crouching stab doesn't really have a wind-up, so it's much faster. The down stab it's like a 0-frame trick. So you push down, it links immediately doing the attack. So you can get inside of an enemy's hitbox and just mash down, and each time you hit down, you're doing damage to that enemy, so.
Yeah, we call that the jackhammer, and we'll see that a little bit later in the run. It also allows you to skip tons of enemies. You can just basically bounce on top of their heads, so it allows you to save a lot of time by doing that as well. And then we've written the fairy spell here, which if you're playing casually, you can ferry through key doors, but the 100% All Keys category does not allow that. But it also allows you to skip the fanfare whenever you grab an item. So that is a good time save. So it allows you to skip basically, as you saw in the candle in Palace 1 in the Medicine Cave. You don't have to stand up and hold the item above your head. And you can just go ahead and skip that whole animation and continue on.
Also, we'll be required to get the Palace 3 after 2.
Yes. Yeah, there are a few screens that require the fairy spell, so.
And then now Pro JN for Pro TGMH hot on his heels. So as Rez starts his walk into Palace 2, takes an unfortunate encounter, this would be a great chance for a few more donations.
I have a very special one to lead off. Blue Lionel has donated $1,043. This donation comes in honor of Cantaloupe. The donation message says, cheers to Cantaloupe's 1043rd and final run of The Legend of Zelda Any% No Up A. There may have been a few setbacks, but it was still a spectacular introductory performance to see for Team P-Hat. I'll need to see Cantaloupe Me run Silver Surfer and Karnov for the next GDQ. Love you, man. Thank you so much, Blue Lionel, for
Let's get some hype for that.
$1,043.
Woo! So Team Sitting Sideways heading into the swamp. Why is this such an important part of this speedrun?
So the swamp, you move at half the speed as you do over any other terrain type, and you have two encounter types that spawn. You have one that's based on your step count, one that's based on a frame count.
Wow.
And you want to get through here with as few encounters as possible. Rez showing off how to do it perfectly.
Yeah, luckily the ferry that they got once again in the open world just went out of the way this time. So
Ferries can
trying to get it.
Ferries can be helpful. See, I told you.
Yeah, you tend to want the fairies to spawn when you're in the swamp, because for whatever reason they seem to run away from you in the swamp.
It's probably the smell.
And then we'll see Pro JN coming up really close behind, also doing the swamp walk. See if they get a clean walk. So this category is, again, the 100% keys category. So they're grabbing all the keys in Palace 2, so they'll visit every single room.
Rez using the fairy spell to get around that enemy that was still alive in that room. Nice time save.
Yeah, there's a pretty cool trick that sometimes fails when trying to downstab over that Doom Rattler, so.
JN having a really nice swamp walk too.
Commentators.
Yeah, I'm having a bad reputation with that.
Yeah, you should wait till after it all happens, and then you say, "Oh, that was great." It's fair.
And what I meant to say was.
And then also, Pro JN did not get a shield. They already have the shield.
Yeah, Pro JN already has shield, and that actually means he's actually, like there's a 60-second gap that Rez is gonna lose basically going back to get that shield spell. So.
Yeah, so this race is a lot closer than it appears at first glance.
Yeah. Not to mention, Justin Man's playing excellently and making up a lot of time. So.
Yeah. Justin Man did win that All Keys tournament, so they definitely can come back very easily in Zelda 2. We always tell you Zelda 2, all the sub 80 runners, anyone can win, anything can happen. It's Zelda 2. Game cheats.
Game cheats. We're having t-shirts made.
Yeah.
Time for donations?
Absolutely.
We have $200 from Logical Imp.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Not about the $200. That was great.
Yeah.
I know. That was just poor timing.
Yeah, this bot bridge is one of the scariest rooms in the speedrun, honestly, because the bots have random movement, and they can real easily just knock you right in, so.
Yeah, sometimes they'll even be frame perfect and pull off frame perfect jumps on you. Just knock you right in the lava.
So you were saying $200?
I was saying $200. I don't want to curse it, though.
We're good now.
$200 from Logical Imp says, I am so hyped to see this Zelda run. I hope to see many more in future GDQs. Thanks, Logical Imp. We have $100 from Smurgledworth. Says, watching AGDQ and SGDQ are always highlights of my year, especially the Zelda games. I've never seen them done in a relay, so this is very exciting.
All right, so coming up here, we have the next item in the game, the glove, which allows you to break blocks. So you just saw the block room there. If you try to hit them in the air, they'll actually break. But if they hit the ground, you can't break them. So
That sounds handy.
yeah,
I see what you did there.
There's another way to break blocks, though, and then you just let them fall on your head.
yeah.
I did not know that Iron Knuckles were scared of fairies.
Yes, that's a little-known fact.
Their Iron Knuckles also been practicing their moonwalking a lot. So.
Some slick moves there by Reservaix. That's not a scary room with the power glove, handy glove. But at the same time, every time you get hit in this game, it adds up. There's a lot of time lost there.
Yeah, and every time you get hit, that's like another second and a half of time lost, just because you lose that momentum, so.
All right, and Res does have the perfect XP of what they want. Ideally, you want to get attack 5 right before you get to this room. So you could try and kill that Mo at the elevator going down as quickly as possible, which is very hard to do.
That Mo is impossible.
Yeah.
JN gets through that room as well cleanly. It's neck and neck, believe it or not. You guys will see after level 2, or after Palace 2, excuse me, Zelda 1 curse. It's going to converge a little bit. It's going to be exciting.
And then Justin Mann is about to get the fairy spell, so they're not very far behind. Still plenty of time to catch up.
So as we wait for the rest and the conclusion of Palace 2, this will be a chance for a few more reads, if there are any.
Oh, there are so many. We have $25 from the King of the Nerds. Says, is this the stream that is going to speedrun the games that will have the mighty hero Eponer and their mighty steed Herpsterp Blanc? No? Okay.
Yes, me lord.
Scarillo says, gives $75, says, I've been watching GDQ for the last 7 years and happy to donate yet again. Zelda has always been my favorite series and can't wait to watch all those speedruns. I'll add another $25 donation if my name is said correctly. So I hope I said that correctly.
I think you nailed it.
Donation goes to Announcer's Choice. Thank you very much.
Winners? Winner's choice?
Announcers.
Announcers. Oh, hers.
Announcers.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
You get a choice.
I do.
That's good.
So Red Jar there from Rez, they went back to pick it up. Normally you wouldn't see them, going back to pick up a Red Jar. They'll get a magic refill at the end of the palace. However, it does take up time to get the magic refill. So going back and getting that Red Jar actually saves time for Palace 2.
I'm sorry. Wow.
Very nice helmet head fight.
And that's one of my favorite parts of Zelda 2, when you see one of those bosses that used to kill you all the time as a kid, and a runner like this just comes in and it melts.
Yeah, it's impressive how much damage that boss actually does to you. But if you can just nail it down quick.
Of course, nobody dies at helmet head.
Justin gets a nice back spawn going into the swamp here, so we'll see what he can do.
High five.
Oh!
Right before the road.
Right before the road, so looks like he's gonna have one encounter into Palace 2.
Yeah, still a pretty good walk. All right, so here's where you'll see the route convergence start being very apparent. This Res going with the shield town here.
JN's turn. And it's so awesome to watch.
So one of the consequences of Rez doing late shield town here is, as we see when he leaves here, he'll have a little bit of a manipulation. He'll step off the path and pause for a second, let the encounter spawn converge, and he'll walk around it and be able to get all the way down to King's Tomb without an encounter.
Yeah, again, this walk was found out by Lord of Ultima. Basically, again, within the past year, this is coming up, so it's definitely something we'll see.
So we'll see JN going directly to King's Tomb now. We'll see he's going to have to deal with some other encounters that are a lot harder to predict.
So actually, TGMH isn't just behind Team Sitting Sideways. Team TGMH is in the lead.
They are.
All right,
Ooh, getting a nasty cemetery encounter, but makes quick work of that.
All right, so they'll make it to King's Tomb first, and then we'll see Rez here doing a slight pause in that green tile to get that manipulation out. And
takes an extra step to prevent the step encounter.
Yep, and then get to King's Tomb, clean walk. So that's where you see a little bit of the late shield town. The good thing about it is just being able to manipulate the overworld encounters to get rid of those pesky encounters.
Yeah, so basically the late shield town, if you don't do reverse bubble skip, is actually about 3 seconds slower, but it does give you some more reliable strats. So it's a little bit of a trade-off that some of the players choose to do.
Yeah, and especially at a high level, you want that consistency of less overworld encounters because all three of these runners have great combat.
Ooh, tough encounter.
So that's another one of those things where it's like sometimes Zelda 2 cheats.
And he doesn't get the jar. So just different seeds.
Yes.
It's just different seeds.
Yeah.
And so Palace 3 is actually the first palace where it'll either be a red jar or a right iron knuckle off the statue.
Yes, yeah, it's a 50-50 shot, although we always say there's a one coming up later that's the never jar, because it never seems to be the jar when you want it.
No, never.
You know what I think we could do to help influence this game to give us a jar? Can we get some more donations?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You absolutely can. I have $15 from Jordy, says, to Team P-Hat, don't give up. We're all rooting for you.
Woo! Yeah!
I have $50 from Legrand Pesh, says, I'm not Swedish, but go Sweden. Let's get that $550,000, peeps. Woo! And Cornelius Bumhog gives $50 and says, giving up sleep tonight to watch the Zelda Relay, totally worth it. Let's get to 550K before the race is over. Do you think we can? 550K?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we
Oh, yeah.
can.
I think we can get past that.
I think that's a fantastic goal. Let's do it, Twitch chat. I believe in you.
If not for us, but for Cornelius.
Yeah.
Team sitting sideways, stepping out for a short break, enjoying the sunshine.
Yep. It's the only palace with a little bit of an outside view, a little sunroom on the other side.
Courtyard.
Atrium.
And then Jay did a nice level up there where he was able to cast jumps. It's going to help him get across this, and he'll leave still with full magic despite that.
Yeah, those bots can be a real pain.
Oh! That wasn't me, I swear.
That was me this time with the commentator, Kurt. The movement of the bots is just so random. The jump lets you get a little bit more time to deal with them, and it makes it a little more consistent. So,
Yeah, bots are the most deadly enemy in this game because they're the only thing that can one-shot you, basically, because of this. So you just saw what we were talking about earlier with the down stabs, and you see there with Res too. The down stabs, you just basically mash that button, get as many hits as you quickly can, and make those blue iron knuckles, which when we were all kids were so hard to deal with.
Oh, yeah,
make quick work of them.
I would always die to that as a kid. And then learning that jackhammer, it's so easy.
So what was that item they just picked up? Was that the pan flute?
No, that was the raft. So what that is basically after this palace, they've done everything they can on this western continent. So they're going to use that raft, sail to the eastern continent, and keep going.
The Eastern Continent, is that a different place, like as far as, that's not the same land of Hyrule, is it? What are we going to find over there?
Well, it is still Hyrule, but we're going to find some new towns, some names you may recognize: Naburu, Darunia.
Cornelius?
No, there's no Cornelius, but so there's a Maze Island over there, which you brought up before. That was in Breath of the Wild as well, so, I mean, that's got to be Hyrule, right?
Yeah.
There's the Valley of Death that is coming up at the very end.
Sounds very pleasant.
It is, actually. I take my vacations there.
Oh, nice. You have a timeshare?
All that lava, you probably see Highlander all the time.
So now, TGMH headed to the boss of Palace 3. Who do we have to deal with here?
Well, Rebonak is the boss of Palace 3, so you'll see setting up on right on the right pixel, so they can set this up, and they'll just down stab there in the corner and make quick work.
Nice.
Rebonak.
Yeah, great call.
So yeah, Rebonak rides a mechanical floating horse, although he has been known to ride a shark on occasion.
Yeah. Maybe one day we'll see the Rebo Shark.
I just want a hover horse.
Right?
Hey, you would think Breath of the Wild, they had all this new technology and then still no mechanical horse?
Well, you get the motorcycle. It's kind of like a horse.
Yeah.
And Rez right behind him, nicely done. That screen is actually scary because if you are a little too ambitious, you can actually soft lock the game.
Yeah, if you kill Rebonak when he's off the side of the screen, the key drops to one screen to the left, and you actually have to stab the key to unlock the screen so that you can scroll again. And so if it falls somewhere you can't get to it, you're soft locked and you can't do anything.
And speaking of soft locks, there's another soft lock possibility is if you level up the same time you screen transition. So all the runners are trying to avoid this run.
Yes. Yeah, and that's one of the things that if you speedrun this game long enough, it will happen to you, and it's never fun.
So Pro TGMH, the first into this town, although I do believe we're going to see a little bit of another route divergence here.
Yes, so JN is going to get the fire spell, another strat developed by Lord of Ultima within the past year or so. We will probably see both Rez and Justin do what we call late fire. They're going to go straight to the cave north of the town that JN is in. It's going to be about a 70-second gap as a result of doing late fire. So that they do that for a couple of reasons. There's some level ups that we'll see actually are shorter. If you pay attention to the level up fanfare as it comes on, you'll be able to notice that later. And then it also helps set up an encounter skip later. So,
But it does not allow her to walk over to the fountain, does it?
it does not. No, I think she's still under house arrest.
I think she's just lazy. 12 steps away from the fountain, can't get her on water. It's just like, I'm thirsty.
It's a really powerful ankle bracelet. She can't get too far away from the door.
I've been thirsty before, and I didn't really want to go anywhere. So.
Also, the old man's always casting fire, so maybe she's just really dehydrated and can't make those extra steps.
Maybe she wants you to get the fire because she's afraid you're going to burn the house down. She needs the water to put it out once you learn the fire spell.
Could be. And then you just saw the child grab there in the maze. The child was kidnapped by their great friend, the Orange Listalvos. And then you're returning it soon. So upcoming here we have what's called the Dazzle Walk. You see them just pause here, wait for the encounter to spawn, wait for a slight delay, go up left, and hopefully go on a grass tile here, and didn't say anything, so not coming to this person.
And it works. Yeah.
So, and I should just point out, not only is that a dazzling walk, it's actually named after a Zelda 2 speedrunner, Dazzle. So,
Rezbeg's getting a little bit of bad luck there. Used the manip to set up the re-attempt and gets it the second try.
yeah, and we notice here he's doing those sword stabs. That's actually an intentional thing. What he's doing is creating an extra delay on that screen because the amount of time you spend on the screen before you exit to the overworld determines the behavior of those enemy spawns. And so by creating that delay, he's guaranteeing that those spawns home in on him instead of random walking away from him, making that a much easier second encounter skip.
Nice. JN also pulls off the dazzle and gets through flawlessly and gets the first encounter skip first try. Very nicely done.
All right, and you also saw there just the Rez getting fairy right there. What was it? Normally
Fairy
see-
claws?
Yeah, fairy claws. You
So
just-
why are we skipping these encounters in the first place?
So it's slower to actually walk through the encounters. There's also bubbles. We saw the bubble encounter at the start of the game. There's pits the bubbles can knock you into. It's just a bad time. You don't want to deal with it.
And no one likes bubbles.
But you know what everyone does like? Are donations for a great cause. Can we get a few more of those, please?
How about a $1,234 donation from Mr. MV? Mr. MV says, hey at AGDQ, really exciting to watch this Zelda series relay. It's always very inspiring to see you all gathered, running, and racing. Hope I can fly from France again sometime. Thanks for all the great times and greater deeds. Honk!
Honk!
Honk.
I have $200 from the Cheeseball 81. Zelda Relay hype!
Hey!
Shout outs to my Zelda 2 family. Love you guys. Whee!
Little known fact, that is what Link says when he falls down and you see that blue screen that he falls down.
Oh, that's what the sound is.
Yeah.
Oh.
First ever Link's Wizards Lane right there.
Justin Man gets through that very tricky room, clean, relatively. Those rooms are scary. We're going to see a couple more of those in the next palace.
Yeah, we call those Minecraft rooms because you're digging through the blocks. But those square wave, like dog heads, they just keep coming, unlimited. So if you go too slow or mess up and get off on the pattern, they can really wreck your day.
All right, and we're seeing here.
Oh. That's a very, very difficult slink.
Yes, and this maze return walk that Rez is doing right now is like it's one of the hardest in the game. It's very long and we do not have a consistent setup for it. So
Yeah, you'll see Rez just sitting there hitting the pause buttons. That's why you see a little bit of stutter right there, and they'll just try and use that to read the encounters and just go around them.
That'll be JN's turn to attempt this to see if he's able to get it.
unfortunately, he was trying to slink, but there was that second encounter right there, and so blocked him off from being able to do that.
Yeah, game cheats.
And then Justin finishes off Palace 3, not far behind. Let's cheer him on, folks. Let's get him back and Team P-Hat back in this race as we enter Palace 4. Let's go.
Woo! And you may notice as we see Rez going through the maze, and also now JN, it looks like they're taking the long route around. There's a couple reasons for that. One, there's a magic container they have to get because it's 100%. But two, as you saw Rez just doing a fixed encounter there, taking the longest path on the maze actually has the fewest of those fixed encounters. So even though it's the longest path, it's the quickest path.
And then this is coming up to Palace 4. So the last spell they got was Reflect, that you just saw. You'll need that to complete the Palace 4 boss, Karok, which definitely the hardest boss of this game.
Yes.
Have you practiced your Karok?
High skill execution for Karok, yes.
I practice my Karok fight almost every day.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's something I'm sure we've all done many save states.
No, in all seriousness, why is that fight so insignificant to practice?
So basically it is pure RNG. As you walk in, you use that Reflect spell to reflect the Karok's magic back at him. You can get the first hit guaranteed, and then after that it's all RNG. You just stand in the corner, crouch, and hope for the best.
I'd be lying if I said I have never died to Karok. So it's not totally free. You just gotta make sure you do it.
He has a nasty habit of spawning on top of you.
Yeah.
He does, yes. All right, so in Palace 4 here, we have these lava rooms, and we'll see a number of death abuses going on in here. I'm not sure how many Rez is going to take, because he did have a couple of untimely deaths earlier. So, but we'll see how many JN chooses to do, and then when Justin gets there, how many he chooses to do.
And each death abuse only saves about 4 seconds, but there's 3 rooms opportunity to get them in here. And
But it also refills your magic, and magic is pretty important in this palace, so.
4 times 3, that's like 30 seconds.
Right.
So it's at least a minute.
And then the item here coming up, you see Rez getting, is the boots. These boots are made for walking. That's what they'll do. Allows you to walk in muddy water, you know.
That sounds handy.
Time for a donation?
Yep.
Players A and B have given a very generous $2,020.
Thank you, that's awesome.
Says, loving the marathon so far, had to donate during such an amazing race. Let's go 600K hype.
I like it. So Rezovax needs some magic here. He's a little on the low side, and he's not even gonna do it.
Well, no, that's the one that doesn't have a jar that you can get.
That's correct, that's correct.
Yeah, and also the magic refill there, you want to have enough magic has to jump.
Yes.
So you either hope for either blue jar if they didn't do death abuse. So that's, again, one of the key points and the key spots to get to death abuse.
Yeah, there's a key later in the palace we'll see that you need the jump spell to get. So.
Yes.
Now Justin Man is an upstabbing citizen.
Dad jokes.
I wish I could move my chair over more.
JN does elect to take the death abuse to save a little time and get his magic refilled. So, it's still a very close race because he does already have the fire spell. It's still really hard to tell who's actually in the lead between the two teams.
Yeah, again, it's about a 70-second difference between getting the fire spell earlier and late. So we'll have to wait and see until after Palace 5. So it's quite a while. Probably good enough time for another donation.
Yes.
Absolutely. I've got a follow-up $10, also from King of the Nerds. Are the puns going to win anyone over? It's highly unlikely.
Highly.
Nothing but dad jokes.
I got that one. I actually understood that.
I love the puns. Avenger sends $100, says 3 Zelda games in one run. What amazing madness is this?
A relay.
Team relay.
Super Snack Bros sends $250, says, ha ha ha, Return of Ganon.
Hopefully we don't see that screen.
No, we don't.
Yeah, that would be a bad time.
Yes, very.
Actually, there's one place that we could see it that it wouldn't be quite so bad.
Yeah, so at the beginning, if in Zelda 2, it's we always call it like a Dark Souls kind of, you can compare it to. But if you game over, you will start back in Starter Palace. So the very beginning where you started out the game. However, if you game over at the beginning of Great Palace, that's where you'll start at the beginning of Great Palace. So it's the one spot you might see someone game over is right there at the very beginning. And it'll refresh your lives. So.
Ooh, bad luck for Rez.
Yeah, he really wanted that red jar there. That's a 50-50 chance, but like we said before, whenever you really need that red jar, the game knows you need it and does not give it to you.
Game cheats.
Put it on a t-shirt.
So Rez will have to be careful. Down to 1 life remaining. Meanwhile, JN now going to take his turn in this room. That room is a little annoying. But
It's real scary if you don't have the jump spell. Those unicorn heads flying the sine wave, they can really mess you up.
All right, so you'll see here coming up really soon what we're talking about Karok and why exactly they're the hardest boss in the game. And they're a big red whiz red.
What?
Okay, yeah.
I appreciate you taking the time to sound it out.
When it's a word like red whiz robe, it's hard to say once.
Here we go. Karok
right.
number 1.
So as you can see here, it's such a hard thing to execute.
The precision.
Yes. Just. God, ooh.
Justin didn't do the pivot, so
Yeah.
So, first out of Palace 4 is Team Sitting Sideways. And as we head to Palace 5, there's a trick coming up. One of my favorite tricks in the entire game. And as we see our second Karok fight, perhaps you guys could tell us a little bit about the trick we're about to see.
yeah. So this is the eco key, and we know Rez, I was paying attention, his drop is perfectly set up for this. So what's gonna happen, there's a big wall that you've got to get over, and the intended route is to cast fairy and fly through the screen, then come back to get the key that's at the top of that. Back in 2015, JN discovered that you can actually use the jump spell and get a damage boost off of a skull bubble. It's pretty precise, but it saves about 12 seconds if you get it, so.
And it looks cool.
It does look really cool.
Just more swag for Zelda 2.
So here it is on the next screen for Rez.
Oh, got it!
Very tight.
By his tiptoes.
Yes, and that double stab buffer that he does there is the perfect delay.
Yeah, you just ideally want to make sure it's in the right position when you do those stabs, and then just go for it.
JN about to take his crack at it.
So we'll see what happens here for JN. Ooh, JN misses.
Backup strats.
Yep.
Yeah, backup strat, you got a fairy, and I haven't... I'm not sure if JN's drop is set up correctly, but it probably is.
Yeah, it's JN.
Yeah. I just wasn't paying attention to his drop.
Yeah, 6-count drop, 6 large enemies. On the 6th one, you'll see either a 200p bag or a red jar.
This room, being annoying as it typically is, Rez able to get the key and he's out.
Yeah, Yeah, and that's another big RNG spot in the run. Sometimes those blocks just will not stack up for you to jump up and get that key.
Yeah, the worst case scenario in that room is nothing but blocks on the left side. It looks like Jan did not have their drop set up.
Oh, but it looks like you probably killed the unicorn heads to get the...
Oh, nice.
As the
Mago
backup.
spawn's real close.
Yeah, very, very favorable Mago spawn there to get that magic level up.
He set himself up perfectly for that, and because of that, he doesn't have to wait as long.
Yeah, if you try to do this room and get this key without the jump spell, you're going to be waiting a long time.
That's a
Oh, very nice.
decent block room for Jan as well.
Yeah.
I'm in the mood for more donations if you have any.
I have infinite donations for you.
Infinite.
Let's keep coming.
Truly, there's some phenomenal donation trains happening. Thank you so much to everyone who's giving right now. It's so much fun to see. We have $300 from, I hope I say this right, Loktar Ogar. Says, nice run, Grimchuck. Did I butcher it?
Oh, you nailed it.
Oh, did I really?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Just gotta say it angrier.
Yeah.
Loktar Ogar.
Perfect.
There you go.
Okay. The message says, nice run, Grimchuck, making Loktar Ogar proud. We're recruiting if you want to come back. We have $10 from Kinetic Medic, says, had to donate during my favorite series of games growing up. Can I get a, well, excuse me, princess?
Well, excuse me, princess.
That was beautiful. I'm so proud.
And was that a plunger that Rez just picked up?
Plunger or a vuvuzela or some type of musical instrument. Yeah.
Rez the first to the flute here.
Oh, it's a flute. I'm sorry.
I think is it a flute though?
It's flared out like a horn though, so I don't know.
Clarinet.
But that allows you to play a secret tune that you just automatically know when you pick it up. Just somehow plays it automatically, maybe.
I mean, the hero of Hyrule just knows.
Yeah.
The plunger of time.
Yes.
Plunger of time, yes.
That's the sequel to Hat in Time.
But allow them to go past the River Devil coming up soon.
Rez making the long trip up here, all the way up here for one key.
Yeah, this is the last key of this side of the palace.
Oh, plus 2 minutes, didn't get the swag.
Didn't even go for it. I'm so
Yeah.
mad.
We have a thing called swag key there. We'll see if Jan goes for it here. You just try and down stab boost on that key, bounce off the wall.
Well, it might be all business, you know.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to take the risk of the 2-minute time loss there, so he played it safe.
Yeah.
He played it safe.
And there's another hidden red jar. Palace 5 has a lot of red jars here, which it is a great need. Basically, on Life 4 in Palace 5, it's not intended for you to be this low of life level.
Yeah, at this point you're basically like on a glass cannon build. Super high attack and pretty low life. Everything hits like a truck, especially the boss of this palace coming up, Boss Guma.
You don't want to hug him.
No, you do not.
He wants to hug you.
He very much does want to hug you. I just noticed there was a blue iron knuckle there. That wasn't Horsehead?
Dance game. Now Justin man up to Karok as well. And he had a couple times he spawned on top of him, already down to half health.
Yeah, so that's where Karok will just sometimes spawn right on top of you. You have to catch it up, finish them off.
Literally nothing you can do about that.
No.
Yeah. I mean, Task probably could do something about that, but
Yeah,
that's Task.
Into the home stretch of 5 now. One more key we have to go and collect. Well, let's see if he can do it without touching the block. We got to get some swag back here.
Yeah, ideally you just want to, you can kill him underneath the block or just try and miss the block and everything.
Lies. You said you could. It doesn't work. I tried it.
Oh,
Every time.
Breaks the block, shaking my SMH.
It's probably a good time for another donation here.
Yes.
Great. I have $10 from Super Saiyan Fife. 500K on the third night? That is amazing. Really glad I made it home from work in time to see the Zelda Relay race. All 3 of these games are classics and should be shown as much as possible. And to celebrate these gems, let's get to 600K by the end of this race.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
Let's go for it.
absolutely.
We got Eco Key coming up on Justin's screen.
Hey! All right, our first crack at Boss Guma.
Yeah, Gumi here swings around a big giant mace, and their head is invulnerable. Makes good work.
What happened? Where'd the boss
Very
go?
nice fight.
Very nice fight. Yeah, that is my least favorite boss fight of the game. He can really mess you up if you don't take him down quick.
All right, and attack 8 is the maximum attack level that you can get in Zelda 2. So you'll see a large amount of XP that they'll be able to get here.
Yes.
And you'll see them coming up to get fire for res.
Yeah, and you'll see when he gets the level up inside of the Fire Town, Naburu, the fanfare for that level up will be shorter than we've heard the rest of the run. So just pay attention to that.
So why doesn't he want to take attack 9? Isn't there an attack 9?
There is an attack 9, but that's just a 1-up, and so then you lose all that experience.
Oh.
Yeah, so here's the fanfares. Very quick leveling up, so that's one of the great advantages of doing this strategy.
Yeah, and because you have 4 level ups that you do, or technically there's that, 4 times you hear that fanfare, that actually saves about 3 seconds over getting those level ups outside of a town.
But surely she's going to get her own water now.
I don't think so. I think she's still under house arrest.
Oh. She's literally 50 feet. Literally 50 feet.
Okay, we got the river dance skip coming up for JN here.
Ooh, that's
Those encounters just followed him. There's nothing he could do about that.
aware of it, though. At least he didn't accidentally take attack 9. That happens a lot when you take an encounter right there.
Yeah, it throws you off. You're not expecting it.
All right, so again, this magic maker with sword shoot fire, which you may see a couple times in this run. Hopefully, maybe, we'll see.
First to the spider is Pro JN of Pro TGMH. So slightly to get the encounter skip.
Gets
Does
the
get
encounter skip.
encounter skip. There are the 3 of these Wilson fence encounters, we call them.
Wilson?
Heidi ho there, neighbor.
Ah, Wilson.
Oh. That was almost good.
So yeah, those Lizalfos throwing those rocks at you, they are very good at leading you.
All right, you see these 2 encounters here, and then there'll be Jan's going to be walking and most likely go to the bridge over here. It's basically to reset the overworld encounters and everything like that.
Rez gets the first encounter skip.
Yep, so Rez also getting the encounter skip here. So very close race, as you can see.
Ooh, Justin got the swag key.
See, swag points for Justin. Justin's catching up. Saves 3 minutes.
So as we head into this cave that leads to the town that's going to give us the thing, this is a great time to catch up on a few of the donations.
We have $10 from Hero of Worlds. Says, we're making puns, are we? Well, I can understand the appeal.
Again, top tier. Keep them coming.
Okay, great. $250 from Casey4 says, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Remember, please use your Twitch Prime and spare bits. This is an amazing event and amazing cause. I love all of you. Save the frames, kill the animals. And that's a great reminder. Twitch subs and bits are donated to the charity for the month of January. So if you can subscribe, you do get a subscription included with your Twitch Prime, Amazon Prime account. Check that out and get it going.
So this town is New Kasuto. Old Kasuto's haunted now, so we don't want to go there really too much until later. But you'll get the spell. It's spelled S-P-E-L-L, so it's the easiest spell to remember because it's spelled.
The spell?
Yeah, spell.
How do you spell?
Spell.
It's a magic word, I understand.
Yeah, you could have probably guessed the name of the spell.
Yes, but what does it do?
It allows you to pose on this last screen.
Yeah, you do a pose on this screen. It also turns enemies into bots.
Oh.
Yeah, and you saw bots
Ooh,
earlier.
good pose. That's a good
pose.
one.
Definitely more swag points for
At
Jay.
least a 9 out of 10.
Yeah. I'll give him that. So also they'll get the magic key here. Allows them to unlock all the doors the rest of the game. So the game,
There's only doors in one palace at this point.
yeah, the game kind of intends you to get it before you go to Palace 6, but but also maybe they'll see like going past the key door without.
Oh, nice.
What do you think about that one?
Full extension.
That was good.
Yeah.
And good height, too.
Classic.
Put a 9.2.
Oh, Rez is catching up.
And then the last thing you look at here is just a magic jar.
The final magic container of the run.
Yep. So probably another good time here for donations.
Absolutely. We have $100 from Big Boss 11. Love AGDQ and Zelda. I can't think of a better time to donate.
Thanks, Big Boss.
We have $25 from Mr. Popo. Says Zelda 1 is the first video game I ever beat. Glad to see this race.
That's impressive.
$10 from AlDog1980, longtime viewer, first time donating. This Zelda Relay race is amazing. Zelda 2 hype!
Hype!
And just a man about to come up to Goomba here. We'll see how their Goomba fight goes.
I hope it goes good.
Very good.
I give up. I'm not even trying.
Maybe we can get some more pun donations from Twitch chat.
Yeah, very good fight.
You know, I don't see any more pun donations. I'm lacking puns over here.
We're going to have to fix that. Come on.
That
Come on,
does
Twitch
make
chat.
me sad.
Give us more Zelda puns.
I'm sure you got it in you.
Yeah.
Palace 6, the Pepto Palace.
Yeah, the palette is similar to Pepto-Bismol there, so
So there's 2 hallways here. We're going to skip those, and we're headed into this hallway with the locked door that our newfound key allows us to enter. And we're going to have to collect an item here. What does that item do?
the item is the cross that allows you to see invisible enemies. So you'll see them coming up in Valley of Death especially. These little moas that float around. Not too great to mess around with if they're invisible. You know, you like to be able to see the enemies as they fly towards you.
Yeah, not so that these runners necessarily need to pick the cross up. It's more because the category requires it.
Right.
Yeah. I just 100% all keys, and 100% categories.
Yeah.
Small keys?
Big keys too. Well, then you see just JN being able to knock that bubble so it doesn't bother them later on.
Yeah, there's also a hot strat we might see someone do later on that screen.
And then coming up here, JN is about to jump over an invisible hole that is in the floor there. It's called the Canadian hole.
Why is it the Canadian?
Way back in the day, there was a Canadian runner that just kept on falling down the hole, but they're from Canada, and they're just like, oh, I'm going to claim that hole. Plant their flag right
The
in it.
flags on the bottom.
Ooh, nice fight. JN goes with the
Yeah.
quick strats, and that was beautiful.
Yeah, this is the first of 2 Rebenak refights we'll see in this palace.
So what's different about that fight from the one we saw earlier?
Well, this one, the first time they fought, they only had attack 6. This time they have attack 8, so it's half the number of sword hits to take out the horse and the rider, so.
So they fight him a little differently by crouching it a little bit closer spot, and then
Yeah, doing a quick dismount, and then ideally going for a quick double hit so that you can basically take him down in seconds.
Rez does a good job as well, finishes him off right on JN's heels. And Justin, a little bit of bad
Quite
luck.
get the slink.
Yeah, so here you see the other Wilson encounter that the other 2 runners did skip. But here's WizCon that you'll see JN going across. We call it WizCon because all the Wiz robes are there. So it's a big convention of Wiz robes.
So as JN returns to this infinite hole, why do we call this one? It must be a fun hole to jump down, see? Whee!
Oh, just wait
Oh,
for
wait,
it.
one more? And that was go! So here's Healing Walk.
On life bars. Whoa!
That does feel good.
So that's actually a pixel perfect. Basically, you just want to get there right on the edge of the screen as your screen transitioning, and it allows you to walk up there. It saves like half a second. Just you don't unlock the door, so you just get the animation, and you have the magic key, so it's all the keys.
+1.
Plus one.
+1.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have time for some puns?
Yes, we
Yes,
do.
we do.
We.
All right, we have $5 from Misto. Whee! $5 from Misto says, did you see that manhandler get manhandled? What, someone didn't like that pun? Hopefully no one was too rupeed off by these because it bombed. Wisdom says they can go on, but if you have the courage to link them together well enough, your collective groan will just power them more.
Big clap.
That deserves applause, not a groan.
Yeah,
That was
That
like
was well written.
definitely a very punny joke.
put on a t-shirt.
All right, here's the final Rebenak refight. Oh, Rebenak doesn't even touch the ground before he's down.
Yeah, kills him midair.
But that's not the real boss of this palace, is it? I mean, that just seems a little simple.
Yeah, no, we actually have one more boss coming up here. Barba is the boss's name. Big dragon. Lives in the lava.
Yeah, other games may call him like Volvagia, but
Yeah, fun fact, in the Japanese FDS version of this game, the manual calls this boss Volvagia.
So we might see the jackhammer strats here again. It's risky.
Falls off,
Falls
but
off.
you'd rather fall off onto the platform than into the lava. Gets the one cycle.
yes,
With that, places palace number 6 gem. That is all 6 palaces.
Well, I think there's another, like, really good palace coming up.
It's not just good.
it's great.
Yes. And it's in the vacation spot that everyone wants to visit. The Valley of...
Death.
No.
Yes.
It actually is the Valley of Death. It's a great hot tub, you know.
That's just to keep, tourists out.
Ah. But first we have to make a quick pit stop over here to pick up our final spell. Not the spell, but the
Ooh,
final spell.
Rez gets the one cycle
Nice.
on Barba.
yeah.
On practically zombie strats. Well
Yes.
done.
As you can see, Barba does hit very hard.
Even at life 6.
Yes.
Oh, are we going to see a fairy dash out of here?
We might with Rez. We'll have to wait and see. Oh,
Oh.
fairy dash.
Hey.
Got the fairy dash.
So then that fairy dash, if you can make a perfect jump, but it's really hard to do getting out of there, and so you bonk your head, saves a little bit of time, possibly.
So JN elects to take life 7, and I imagine we're going to see Rez setting up for magic 7. What is the differences in routes there?
Okay, so yeah, we see JN's got 877. Rez has 876. And he also has basically just needs a little bit less than 500 XP to get to his next level. What that plan is going to be for him to do is get that magic level right before the Thunderbird fight at the end of Great Palace, so he doesn't have to take a death abuse. JN, on the other hand, he does 877 strats and will, as a result of that, have to take a death abuse to refill magic before going into the Thunderbird fight.
It's another one of those things. JN's a very experienced, long-time runner in Zelda 2, and they just kind of like stuck to their guns with their leveling. And then, as you can see here, there's the Valley of Death, lots of lava everywhere. These blue Moas here are what you can see since you picked up the cross. If you didn't pick up the cross, they would be completely invisible, no sign of it whatsoever. It'll be looking like you're getting hit by nothing at all.
And so you'll see that he's going to stop up ahead here and try to take an encounter on this tile right above him. That's because there's fixed encounters there, and they are awful. You do not want to go through those. It's much, as bad as those encounter screens are, those fixed screens that we're skipping are even worse.
Yeah, you'll have to use at least jump or fairy to get through them. Yeah.
Probably the life spell a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, much easier to wait for an encounter.
Ooh.
Oh no!
That's
That's really unfortunate there.
It's going to be a bit of a setback. Now back at the start, going to have to cross back over and make their way back to
Yeah,
Valley of Death.
I didn't exactly see what happened, but the Moas and the coconuts in that encounter, they can, if they catch you at the wrong place at the wrong time, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. So then Pro JN just making Valley of Death look relatively easy, getting through there flawlessly.
All All right, and it's epic music time.
Yeah, the Great Palace has its own theme song.
It's the binding force has been undone.
I think coming up there's going to be some spicy chickens.
There may be spicy chickens, definitely. Yeah. They're hot. They throw fire, and they are definitely chickens.
So yeah, you notice that there are now all kinds of enemies that we've not seen anywhere else throughout this game. Those spicy chickens being one of them.
Mm-hmm. The others being the bird knights. Very
There's also
bird
some
themed.
very large enemies that we haven't seen before also.
Yes, the King Skull Bubbles and the King Bots. They're extremely large. You'll see giant-sized versions of them.
And those will actually break apart into multiple small versions of themselves if you hit them enough.
Yeah, and also, even the normal bots you'll see coming up, they do take extra hits. So everything in PvP is just a whole lot harder.
And the ropes that we've seen before in the game, there are ropes here, but they spit fire.
Yeah, everything in this palace is just hard mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amped up. This was definitely the bottleneck for me as a kid. It's a great palace.
Yeah, that's the reason why you can game over and just start right at the very beginning of the palace.
I just recommend pull out the Game Genie.
Yeah, you can do that too. And see, there's the first of the bird knights there, trolling a little bit, trying to go straight in there, blocking the path.
Oh, Res despawned the jar.
Oh no. So there's that jar, supposed to be a red jar in that encounter, and that can despawn based on how the screen scrolls when you go into those encounters, and if you skip the fence encounter right before Valley of Death with a large encounter.
So you'll have to play a little safe here in Valley of Death. Setting up these counter skips actually gets a really nice first part of this, and he'll take the enforced encounter there, which is a lot quicker than the random encounter, and he's going to set this up perfectly. That's a big break for Rez there.
Yeah, he went in there to do those 4 stabs to force the encounters to home in on him.
And coming up here, JN will be called this Scott Beekla, this bird knight here. And
Did
then-
not get the quantum leap.
Nope.
Oh.
Also, Scott Beekla just throwing those high beams and just trying to hit Link as much as possible.
That room is so difficult to execute properly.
Yeah, it is. When done clean, it's beautiful, but I mean, you got to get cooperation from Beekula to do it.
Yeah.
And now Justin Mann for Team P Hat taking on Barba one more time. Let's see if he goes for the jackhammer strats here.
Here we go. Oh, Justin Man going for the safe one cycle.
And that's still almost just as fast.
Yeah, the jackhammer really saves like half a second.
Yeah, it really just depends on how quick your mash is and everything like that, so it doesn't save all that much time.
And Team P Hat on the way to Great Palace.
All right, Jan ferrying over this last spicy chicken. This one can be a bit of a pain. Somehow more so than others. I don't know why.
It's the last one, you know, just wants to make sure to
It's spicier.
bring it home.
Extra spicy. Yes.
And here's the surprise enemy. Surprise, King Bon.
Okay, bye.
So JN takes a death here, but that was intentional.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, got to refill your magic for Thunderbird. The Thunder spell at Magic 7 costs, what is that, 100 MP?
I believe so.
So yeah, it's 100. So he'll do probably jump, shield, and thunder.
Yeah, one of the advantages of having Magic 8 at the very end is being able to cast Shield, Jump, Reflect, and Thunder. So JN doesn't really, just goes through there.
Oh, man.
Almost
As
gets
you
the
can
one
see.
cycle. One hit.
Wow.
Very
Jane doesn't
clean,
hit.
very nice.
I've practiced that fight for dozens of hours, and I've only done that in a run a few times. That was a master class of a fight right there.
And on to the Dark Link fight. So what can you tell me about the Dark Link fight?
Dark Link fight used to be just sit in the corner, trying to do a whole bunch of stabs, and that's used to be really hard as a kid. But just like call up Nintendo and just be like, stand in the corner. But what you can do here is also just manipulate it, and just as soon as Shadow Link walks in there, just keeps on hitting it, and if you do it perfectly, it's within 12 seconds. JN making quick work of it, just a few seconds more.
And
Very, very good fight for JN.
Team TGMH.
Yeah.
First one's
Pro TGM.
Pro TGMH.
Yes.
The first team into the final game of this 3-game relay race. And coming up for that team to play A Link to the Past will be TGH.
Time for a quick donation?
Yes.
On that note, we have $25 from Augie Jr. says, "Go Team Pro TGMH."
Hey, Augie.
We also have several puns if you're ready for them.
Absolutely.
Go for him.
$5 from Ben63. Zelda puns? I'm afraid I can't think of any.
Oh,
$10 from Haley. All these Zelda puns must be a Majora pain. $10 from Caleris. If we start a Zelda donation train, would it run on the Spirit tracks?
okay.
All right, we're getting better.
So as TGH starts his 7th GDQ run, and of course, don't forget, he has a bonus run up potentially on Saturday, so make sure you guys support that. We have joining us here in the commentators booth, Fricker22. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, it's great to be here. Rolling in, I'm excited for this. So TGH starting the first part of this category. Basically, Escape is just your mini dungeon. There's going to be a lot of optimal movements that you'll see him do. Talk a little bit about how Link's movement works as he moves north or west. Basically, he's going to have a faster movement than south or east. It's starting to be a thing, huh?
Yeah, I think it's catching on.
But basically, what TGH is going to do is to optimize his movement, to give the chance to move a little bit quicker. He's going to do a thing called pumping, and what that does is it gives him a chance to reset his movement. It's a 50-50, but basically it's a chance to have him reset his movement to be a little bit faster.
All right, now sitting sideways up to the Thunderbird fight as well.
Yes, this Thunderbird fight. Ooh, going.
Ooh. One more shot at it.
So jump, shield, thunder. And here we go.
More hit.
There we
All
go.
right, there we go.
We got him.
And they will move on to the Shadow Link, Fight Your Shadow.
Fight your shadow. When I prize.
We'll see if they can do the manipulation here. Like, sometimes Shadow Link will just troll and just jump right in on you. So we'll see what happens here. I'll play reverse commentator.
I wouldn't have even risked it.
Yeah, our track record isn't great tonight. One more hit.
There it is.
And down he goes. Team sitting sideways, moving on to A Link to the Past.
So one thing I did want to mention about this Link to the Past run, we are currently running this in the Japanese 1.0 version. What's great about this particular version is it actually saves about a minute and a half versus the English version. About a minute or so just on text alone, and then about 30 to 40 seconds just in the minor glitches that it provides. So it's a little bit faster, and that's what we're here to do, is to go fast.
So team sitting sideways, third and final representative tonight. Josh RTA was going to be starting his run shortly. He wants to get a 123 in A Link to the Past. He'll be one of the first ones to get to that goal. He's also learning the glitched runs. A lot of different categories in A Link to the Past.
Yeah, there's quite a few. We've actually just recently split it up into different name categories, but no major glitches. But for Josh wanting to learn a little bit more major glitches, there's some restricted major glitches and unrestricted major glitches for those categories. So if you are interested in speedrunning this game, there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of different runs that are extremely fun. So making our way through escape here, we did get Princess Zelda out of there, beat the mini boss of Ball and Chain, which can be pretty scary at times. He hits like a truck, basically. But this mini dungeon, just getting through a bunch of rooms with guards, and as you'll see here coming up soon, the back half of escape is just loaded with bats and rats and snakes. So it gets pretty dangerous, only 3 hearts.
Justin does take some hits there on that final spicy chicken. Needs 30 experience points for Magic 7. He's going to go ahead and kill the heads here. Only kills one of them. We get another one, like, back to back?
You have too much power. You might have to take the mic away.
And a Magic 8 for Justin. So he gets a free Magic refill here. He's going to be able to just go straight down. For our final Thunderbird fight of the evening. With Magic 8, he gets a few extra perks here. He's going to be able to use Shield, Jump, and Reflect, which neither of the other runners had. Reflect will shrink his hitbox, actually, which will allow him to kind of go for a strat we call the Panic Dolphin. He goes for it, but gets hit. That is like...
Ooh. It was a good try. It was a good try.
Round 2. Fight. Nice.
There it is. That was the redemption.
So overall, making up some good time for Team P Hat. They're not too far behind any bad situation or bad death.
Oh, and we're
Put
going
them
into
right
you
back
know,
into it.
A Link to the Past, which
Yeah.
is, there's nothing that could go wrong in A Link to the Past.
No,
There's no such thing as Helmasaur or Cold Stare.
No RNG at all.
Yeah, nothing.
Doesn't exist.
Time for donations? Wait.
There it is.
Now, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. I have $25 from Anonymous. Says, love seeing these runners link up for a real legendary race. Look, I know I triforced those puns. Give me a break. And speaking of puns, we have a donation from the Yeti. $10,000.
Unbelievable.
We put that on a t-shirt.
The Yeti says, hey all, Yeti here. Zelda puns, huh? Okay, let me try. You go run the games really fast. I'll Zelda t-shirts for charity.
That was good.
The link is on the Twitch channel.
I'll buy that shirt.
You put that on a t-shirt. I'm looking forward to that one.
Can we get one more cheer for the Yeti, guys?
Absolutely. And for everybody who's donated tonight, 530 grand. We're getting closer to that 550. Let's go, guys. We
Make
can
it
get
happen.
this.
Yeah.
All right, TGH is making his way to the first Light World dungeon of the run to Eastern Palace. So it looks like Blunt's just getting underway. So we have all 3 runners on A Link to the Past right now. So this is pretty hype. You did notice at the beginning that Blunt obviously did skip the first chest in Link's house, as did the rest of the runners. That's just to make sure that we save a little bit of time by getting the boomerang first.
Blunty, of course, for Team P Hat, the final contestant for that team. The defending champion of the last Vanilla Link to the Past tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
And after his recent PB, he wants to move on to the 100% no major glitches category. And he also wants everyone to know that Glover is the best speedrunner of all time.
Oh, baby. Also, just a big shout out to Blunt Bunny. I know the community is behind him all the way. He just got his 123, so very, very exciting for him. Woo! So as you see TGH in this room here, there is a specific line that you walk on. There is a box that you want to try to avoid. That way you end up killing less Stalfos in that room. There's 4 that can spawn and make it a little bit faster.
Donation me, please.
Happily. I have $100 from JB Sulon, I hope I said that right. $100 says, what a race and what a commentary team. Next year, randomizer race? Hype!
I'm on board.
That would be sweet.
I also have $100 from Ness14. Gotta go fast, gotta beat Ganon. In memory of Jess, who lost her fight to cancer last summer. Thank you for all the good work, GDQ.
All right, so TGH is getting to one of the first big parts in this dungeon. It's going to be a big key deboost. He's going to take iframe damage there on purpose, which lasts about 1 second. That gives him access to lift up the pot underneath the anti-fairies there, and then activate the switch to grab the big key, which does save considerable amount of time because in order for those anti-fairies to spread out, you have to kill all the enemies in that room. And Josh just getting out of escape, grabbing the bow.
This room coming up is pretty scary.
Yeah, this is the first dark room with quite a bit of enemies, along with Igors in here. So this top right Igor does hold the key to the door, and he gets the red rupee. Talk a little bit about prize packs down the line here. Fantastic ball and chain.
So as we come up to our first boss here, what is Pro TGMH's strategy going into this boss fight?
So going into this boss, you want to at least have a minimum of 18 arrows. This is the Armos Knights fight. And basically, everyone's going to be doing the top right strategy here. Some of us know a little bit about how to optimize this fight. I think some of them with the, what you mostly call pinkish strategies is kind of the newer one to save some frames. But everyone's going to be at the top right, shoot 5 arrows to the right, and then head toward the left and shoot the rest of the arrows down. It's a fantastic fight. It helps set up the last Armos to not turn red. The last Armos can turn red, making you fire 3 more additional arrows to kill it. So that's kind of the Armos quick kill that we've seen there. So this is where the run gets quite interesting. TGH is going to go pick up the boots, which is going to give us access to the first available Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitch, which is called Spin Speed or Super Speed. Makes the game extremely fun.
So as we wait for these boots to be delivered, this will be another great chance for a few more of these Zelda puns if you've got any.
Absolutely. I have $50 from Madelsberger. Could you guys give those puns a rest? They are most definitely not funny. You could at least try next time. What, you disagree? I guess I'll have to go my own way then, as I cast a cold stare back at you.
All right.
This is amazing.
So many at once.
These are poems.
So as everybody saw there, that was the first minor glitch that was available to us once we got the boots. It's called Spin Speed. Basically, you charge up your sword, and when you release it, you want to hit the A button or the dash button 1 frame later. That gives us access to Super Speed, which is basically dashing speed movement without having the downfalls of bonking or anything. So he's able to basically have dash speed movement, which you'll see here coming off of these stairs.
This allows him to book it.
Allows him to book it as he gets the book.
Now I want Pizza Hut.
Right.
The movement in the overworld in this particular section, it doesn't look like it's that important, but there's so much that can go wrong, just throws you off and adds up on the time losses.
This game is all about movement. Small optimizations, whether it's, pumping or coming out of doors or staircases the right way to prevent stair lag. Some of you guys out there, stair lag. You'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, just some of these small optimizations, it comes down so importantly to movement in this game.
That's one of the things that impresses me the most about the Link to the Past run. Stuff like what he just did with the menu there to stop his path, so he didn't have to just pixel perfect stop.
Exactly. Basically what he did there was they called a menu buffer. He knows he's got to switch to a specific item coming up soon, so he's going to utilize that point right there that he had to kind of give it more meaning, and basically it helped him to dash on the grass on that particular part instead of the water, which was actually going to slow him down. So you'll see a lot of menu buffers when it comes to specific dashes or being able to line themselves up in a pixel perfect trick just to help them out.
Now, Team P Hat is through Escape, headed over to Eastern Palace as well. And as we start Desert Palace, what are we looking for in this dungeon specifically as far as our objectives and our movement?
Yeah, so Desert Palace is pretty much a straightforward palace. It's just a lot of long hallways and dashes. He's going to grab a key here that's going to give us access to the right side of the palace to grab the big key. But some of the more important things as we go through Desert Palace is just picking up as many arrows as we can to get ourselves ready for the desert boss coming up, which is Landmolas. They can be a definite pain, and you want to make sure you have as many arrows as you can.
A good Armos fight for Josh there. Very
Nice
clean.
quick kill. So kind of cannonball RNG we get here for Tej. Oh,
Nice.
Clean through. Oh. Perfect.
Now sitting sideways out on their way to the desert after they pick up their book as well. Good chance for some more of those amazing puns if we've got some standing by.
We do, but first I have a $50 donation from Mikasar that says, Bonjour, GDQ. Great to see the audience practicing their French. Whee!
We.
I have $10 from Navi26 says, hey, listen, we've got to get some puns to Octo Rock your socks off. It's very easy to make them. Let's link up and get a donation pun train going. We already have one going. It's gonna be a good time.
These are fantastic.
I'm not sorry.
This train is
So there is
quite strong.
There is a spin speed trick coming up here that can be a little scary. With the super speed state, even if you touch a ledge barely, you're going to hop off of it. That was a fantastic job there by Tej. But basically, if you accidentally hop off that ledge, you got to start Desert Palace all over again. That's just how important some of the optimizations are in this game.
So he just dashed through that door. I didn't think you could do that.
Yeah, so key dashing, what's pretty cool about that is basically you need to link up about 4 pixels from the door, and it sounds a little bit difficult, but the cool part about this is there's a lot of things that are on a multiple of 4 pixels within the rooms, whether it's a pot or a lamp, railing, or a wall. So basically, it's just as easy as lining link up directly with one of those objects, and then starting a dash and turning toward the door, and that will set you up perfectly on a multiple of 4 pixels, and you're able to dash through the door without bonking.
Here we go with the Lambo fight. This is actually one of the hardest fights to pull off optimally. You're looking for like a 3-cycle here, or 2-cycle, obviously. Is
I mean,
optimal.
2-cycle is going to be the most optimal in an RTA run, but an early 3-cycle is definitely ideal, or even a 3 for that matter. So to start the second. These landmos can go any which way that they want to go. They can give you long waves, they can give you short hops. Sometimes landmo can definitely be a run killer. Very frustrating.
Yeah, and the problem is you can only have one arrow flying at any given time.
Yeah. So if you end up having one arrow out, in that fight and you miss a landmo, it's going to take that time to travel across the screen and you're not able to shoot another arrow out. So it can get a little bit frustrating. All right, Josh getting into Desert Palace here, while Blunt is getting ready for the Armos fight.
Now this part coming up, especially in a marathon setting, is extremely, you have to take it with kid gloves. You can't just go into the fake flippers without really being careful here.
So this is the second Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitch you're going to see here. What TGH is going to do is he's going to transition the screen and set it up so he's 1 pixel away when he jumps in the water to transition. And since the game only checks if you have flippers every 8 frames, that's actually a perfect amount of time for us to transition, which is 8 frames. It allows us to swim without the flippers. Now, the scary part that JSR was talking about here is if you get hit in the water while you fake flipper, or you're in that state, you're going to end up being pushed back, and the game doesn't know where to put you. So it is a soft lock at that point. And of course, this category does not allow saving and quitting. So very scary minor glitch that we do there.
So what you're saying is that anything can happen in Link to the Past. This race is far from over.
Far from over. Anything can happen.
Now, Team P-Hat picking up their boots, and now we get to see another example of the spin speed glitch you were referring to earlier. And as we get a little bit of this cleanup as we head to the next dungeons, another great chance for us to get closer to that $550,000 mark.
Oh, baby. Let's get there.
Donate now.
I can talk a little bit about Death Mountain while we wait. Death Mountain, everyone's favorite part in any Zelda game. Basically, at this point, you're kind of at the whim of the mountain and the falling rocks and boulders. So trying to perform a couple of things here. Spin speed, we got squirrels going back and forth. We got rocks falling all over the place. And it can be a little scary because the next dungeon that we're going to here, which is Tower of Hera, you want to have as many hearts as possible. There's a lot of different things that can happen here. And you want to go into the Moldorm fight at the top of the tower, definitely with as much health as you can. Shoutouts to Blunt Bunny. Right. Kijin Tower of Hera.
We're gonna get another crack at the Moldorms here in a second for Team Sitting Sideways. And as we get to that point, perhaps another good chance for some more donations.
Absolutely. $25 from Lucky Charms. I don't have any puns, just a love of Zelda, the runners, the volunteers, the donors, and everything about this amazing week every year. My dad has been cancer-free for 25 years thanks to early detection, and raising money to help that happen for others couldn't be better. That is awesome news, Lucky Charms. Thank you so much for that donation.
We got Josh in the Landmo fight here. Going on his third cycle.
Oh,
Ooh.
and that's pretty much all RNG in one.
Yeah, oh yeah. The worms are just bullies. Blunt entering Desert Palace.
TGH does get hit by that final tile. No big deal. So after he picks up this big key here, he's going to be headed up the tower. And as he goes up the tower, we're going to see another one of those crazy tricks that we see in the speedrun.
Yeah, so he's going to do a bomb jump here to get the big chest, which contains the Moon Pearl. The correct way to do it, or how the game intended you to do it, is to go even a floor higher and then fall from above to the chest platform. So if you do a bomb jump, it's going to save you quite a bit of time. Basically, lining yourself up within 2 pixels of an edge of the pit. The bomb is going to allow you to explode Link over a 2-tile gap. Now, 2 pixels away from the pit sounds a little scary, but if you use a bonk technique on a wall, it actually opens that up to about 6 pixels. So it makes things a little bit easier.
Ah, it made it look easy.
Early bomb jump.
Orb.
He actually did a hybrid strat there. He actually did the early bomb jump in conjunction with the sword spin setup, so that was pretty cool to see.
A scary boss coming up. He's down to 2 hearts.
Down to 2 hearts. So right here, going into Moldorm. Moldorm is definitely one of the gatekeepers of this run. He has random movement, but one big thing that you got to know is the tail will always follow the head.
Be careful.
So anywhere the head goes, the tail's going to follow. So it's a great way and great strategy to kind of know where to be and where to hit. His last hit, he's going to get some extra speed here. Hanging out on the left side of the pit.
Nice.
Good kill.
Wow.
That
That would have been huge. Nicely done. Very clutch.
That's pretty much as close as it gets. Yeah.
Orb.
Josh climbing the mountain here, getting ready to go to Tower of Hera.
So 3 pendants. We're good. Master Sword GG, right?
Master Sword GG. I wish it was that short and that easy. But he's got 3 pendants now. That's going to allow him to pull the Master Sword in the Lost Woods. One thing I did want to talk about currently on the route that Gigi's taking right now, and the rest of the runners, of course, is the tree rupee route. So we need 110 rupees total going into the Dark World. And this was actually found in a 2014, I believe, by a runner named ACMLM. And what's cool, it saves about 6 seconds versus just going in the back where you get boosts and getting a couple of rupee chests. So what we found out is if you kill 4 enemies without being hit and you pull a tree, you are going to get red rupees. So he's going to collect a few rupees here by pulling a tree. He's going to finish killing some of the enemies on the way to the Master Sword. So he accumulates 4 enemy kills without being hit, and then when he gets back to that same tree, he's going to re-pull it, and he's going to get 80 more rupees.
Blunt Bunny barely misses the 2 cycle, gets the 3 cycle on the Lambos to right behind. Team P Hat's still in this.
So if you look at what Josh is doing here, he actually did another Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitch. It is actually called an item dash. It allows Link to dash while using an item. And what he did is he did a boom dash to hit the crystal switch and then lock himself where the pegs are, basically giving you infinite iframes or invulnerability to just kind of sit there and chill until the tiles have finished and you're able to go to the next room.
Plus it saves a few seconds since you don't have to hit the switch. So
it's always nice to do that because you don't get a lot of breaks in this game. You know, if you're not doing something crazy, you're mashing all the buttons for text. So just definitely not a lot of breaks. So that is one that is much needed. Blunt setting up for fake flippers here.
Ooh. That's a scary spawn.
Very scary.
That whirlpool of the enemy can actually spawn exactly on top of that portal as well too. So, all right.
Bomb jump.
Bomb jump here. Yep. I mean, Josh setting this up. He is going to bonk. It's going to open up the pixel range.
Nice.
Extra 4.
So now TGH headed to Hyrule Castle.
Yep. So he's headed to Aghanim's Tower right now. Everyone's favorite part. Basically fighting Aghanim at the top. It is the giant gatekeeper of this this category, this run. Basically, you pretty much have to pray that you don't lose a lot of time for blue balls, which I'll kind of talk a little bit about the chances and what's going to happen in that fight once he gets closer there.
Josh now fighting Moldorm. Good start to the fight. Has a little more health than Teach did.
So Josh is actually able to dash through Moldorm right there because
nice.
His head is the only thing that's going to hurt you. That's the hitbox there. So if you kind of off-center yourself when you dash, you're going to go right through the head most times and then just hit the tail.
So as we begin the climb up Hyrule Castle, this would be a great chance for some more Zelda puns.
Sure, I have $10 from Ferg Master Flash. What was Link's favorite dance in the 90s? The Macarena.
Of time.
Also, don't forget to drink some water. Thanks, Ferg Master Flash.
So one thing early on that I wanted to talk about too, and you'll see the other runners do this right when they get into Aghanim's Tower as well, is every enemy has their own prize pack category that they are in. And the second room in technically the third room in Aghanim's Tower here are 2 specific guards, and their prize pack is part of the fairy drop, which is going to be pretty important because we're actually going to preserve that prize pack. And when you kill an enemy by dashing through it, the enemy does not drop an item and you do not advance the prize pack. So they save that fairy drop, which they are going to utilize in Turtle Rock later in the run. Right, about to pull the Master Sword here, Josh's side.
These red guards, they can be quite trolly. It looks a lot easier than it really is to get through these rooms quickly.
Yeah, they can. And it's a common theme here. But yeah, for that room, it's called the Circle of Pods. It can be pretty frustrating, but luckily there is a few things that you can do, especially menu buffer to the boomerang, which you're going to need to grab the key that's in the middle. It helps you see the RNG, whether it's good or bad, and to know what you're supposed to do at that point. All right, so a little bit about Aghanim. So he can give you as low as 0 blue balls, or he can give you as high as 15 blue balls, which the chances of getting 15 blue balls is pretty high, but In most cases, the average is about 3. So every blue ball that he fires is a 6-second time loss. So the very first one right here is going to be an energy ball, 100% all the time. The next 3 hits, or the next 3 moves that he's going to do is a 50-50 chance between an energy shot or a blue ball.
1.
2.
Oh, baby, we're on track.
Whoa.
How many times have you seen the perfect blue balls fight? 3.
So when you say perfect blue balls, you mean 0 or 15?
Perfect 15.
15. Personally, I've never seen it, but a runner by the name of Skrivos had it twice, which is unbelievable. If you know the odds of getting 15 blue balls and then having one runner get it twice, it's astronomically impossible.
Oh.
Why is everyone sad? This is a good thing.
4. Oh, man. Rough.
Got the mold arm fight here.
5. Wow.
Oh, man.
So over on Josh's side, you see him beam those 2 guards and then dash through that. That's the setup.
Yeah, so I talked about that earlier. That's to set up the dash to kill the guards so they do not advance the prize pack. There we go. We're through. We're getting ready for Dark World, y'all.
Jamming or
No, there isn't.
So as we get through the text here, text boss of the pyramid,
Oh, yeah.
we should probably get a few more of those donations in if we could.
Feel free.
Donations.
I have $250 from Sama. Good evening, AGDQ. I'm so oh, sorry. This was one from earlier, actually. I'm so incredibly excited to see the man, the myth, the legend, Green Mario up on stage tonight. You're gonna do awesome, man. You got this. And a special shout out to the Aponte in the crowd. I love and miss all my D-Generals so very much. Please put this towards the Ocarina of Time glitch exhibition.
All right, so Teach is making his way to the first Dark World dungeon, which is Palace of Darkness. He is going to meet Kiki the monkey, and he is going to take $10 or 10 rupees to have him follow you, and then he's gonna ask for an additional 100 rupees to open up the first dungeon. What Kiki the monkey needs 110 rupees for, I'm not sure.
It's a greedy monkey.
He's going to Vegas.
It's a lot of bananas.
That's a,
Him and Donkey Kong are gonna chill it.
So what happens if you get hit?
If you get hit during the process while Kiki follows you, he's just gonna run away, and then you're gonna have to pay him again.
Oh, that's not good.
No, not fun.
that's extortion.
You think it'd be in his interest to set more enemies up, like get on the enemy side?
Let's see how many blue balls Josh gets here. Blunt making up some good time as well, headed to Aegis Tower.
I'm on board.
Nicely done. Blunt gets his set up for the pull.
Get those red rupees. Oh yeah. All right, so the route through pod here has been changed. All right.
You call one.
Should have known that was coming. The route through pod here has been changed a little bit slightly. Every time that you mirror, it's going to take you back to the beginning of the dungeon, and it's going to allow us to pick up more bombs, which is something that we're going to need through this dungeon and through some of the other dungeons. Josh getting ready to rock and roll to the Dark World here.
So really, as we get to this point, it's about, what, a third through the run, maybe a little less than a third. And the runners are definitely in different spots, obviously very separated at this point. But what's kind of neat about what we have going on here is it's definitely just one bad luck. That's one spot of bad luck that's going to bring one of these runners back into it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you know, some of these Dark World bosses can be pretty tough. One of the first ones is that we're going to see here in Palace of Darkness is King Helmasaur. He can be pretty brutal. He's got a lot of attacks. Every attack is going to take off 2 hearts. Luckily, all these runners grab the Sank Heart, which is definitely going to help out. But as you see here on TGH's screen, he did a bomb clip for the hammer jump. So that's definitely not an easy trick. What's cool about that is it saves about 45 seconds. If you didn't do that and you grab the key the way the game intended you to, you got to go a few rooms to the right, do a lot of dashing and grab the key and then come all the way back. But for that hammer jump, basically, it is a pixel perfect Y coordinate where you place the first bomb and then where you place Link. So it's 2 different coordinates, but they are pixel perfect.
Time for a quick donation.
Yes.
I have $500
Oh, baby.
from Avenger of Dark. Says, just wanted to donate to this awesome event and say thank you for all that you guys do. Thank you, Avenger of Dark.
That was really nice.
Oh yeah, that was definitely smooth pod mimics there. We have a couple of cutscenes here. The long wall that we gotta wait. So we'll check out what's going on the other side here. We have Blunt headed up toward Aghanim. So we'll see how the third Aghanim compares to the rest of them.
So coming up here, we have a room called the Turtle Room. And this room's pretty tricky.
It can be pretty tricky. He's gonna go in with sword held. He's gonna hammer once, hammer another time, and then release a spin. He did get good RNG there. Sometimes the turtles can go down on the left or the right side. So that was a very smooth and quick turtle room there. All right, we have Blunt at Aghanim, and then we have Tej heading right to King Helmasaur here. Basically, it's a tough fight. He has a lot of sporadic movement. He can charge at you, he can tail swipe you, he can shoot fireballs. It does take 17 hits to get his mask off before you're actually able to damage him. And then at that point, energy shot. And then at that point, it's gonna take 3 hammer hits and a spin. 2 slashes equals a spin. Oh,
nice. That is such a scary fight, especially in the marathon.
Ooh, Josh went down just 1 extra pixel than he should have there.
Nice.
This is amazing. So most of the crystal cutscenes in the Dark World, they can get pretty lengthy. Palace of Darkness being one of the longer ones. All right, so where you're gonna see Tej go here, directly out of Palace of Darkness, he's gonna start doing dungeons out of order. So the intended dungeon order is Swan Palace next, being the second Dark World dungeon. But we're gonna go right to Thieves Town here, which is actually the 4th dungeon. And the reason that we're doing that is because we wanna get the gloves, basically to allow us access to the frog, which is going to give us an upgraded sword, or the tempered sword, which is going to make the rest of the dungeons and the rest of the bosses much easier and faster.
In fact, the last sword upgrade we're gonna receive in the game.
Oh yeah.
In the meantime, I think we do have time for more donations.
Great. I have $250 from Narthex, says, all hail Koji Kondo. The Dark World theme is easily my favorite song from the Zelda series. Let's get that 550K orb. And what are the chances?
Orb.
And what are the chances I could get another? Well, excuse me, princess.
Well, excuse me, princess.
It's truly a thing of beauty.
All right, so TGH is gonna get the shovel right here, and then he's gonna dig up the flute. While Josh is gonna head toward Helmasaur, and Blunt just entering Palace of Darkness. So what Tej did here, what you can do here is you can actually get a quick warp. I didn't talk a little bit about quick warps earlier, but what's nice about it is it actually saves 34 frames during the transition. And basically, it just depends on where the camera is set when you're on that particular screen. And every 8 pixels horizontally, there are 2 pixels that you can use to get that quick warp. When you say 34 frames to be saved, isn't a lot, but with the amount of warps in the game, it actually does turn out to be about 12 and a half seconds of time saved throughout an entire NMG run. Nice Helmasaur there.
You always got to salute.
Well played.
If you have any extra donations, now's a good time. We have a cutscene and then the duck as well.
I have $25 from Yurevich says, wee!
Whee! That was good timing.
Was good timing. $15 from C Forever. What happens to the hero of Hyrule after he pounds an energy drink? He becomes a hyperlink.
Oh, boy.
I have an anonymous $25 donation. Why is Ganondorf so afraid of the internet? Because of all the links.
You're lucky you're anonymous. But thanks for the donation.
And Kay Davis gives $10, says, I can still hear the collective pun groan from the tip of the West Coast. Free us from the pun onslaught.
All right, Blunt going for a hammer jump here. Perfect lineup on the first set of pixels. Needs to go up 2.
Nice.
Nice. No extra buffers. Fantastic jump from Blunt Bunny there. We are in Thieves Town. Basically, Thieves Town is just a lot of dashes, a lot of enemies that you want to try to avoid. You don't take too much damage in here, but the one thing you do need to worry about in this dungeon is a long conveyor room with spikes and Patrick Star enemies. So quite a bit going on there. They can get a what they call a pixel perfect dash just by dashing directly from the door, which will line Link up perfectly to be able to dash all the way up right through the door. But because this game is so fantastic with RNG, even if you get the God Pixel, you don't always get the God Dash.
And that'll allow them to go down to the basement. They'll be able to pick the upgraded mitts that you referred to earlier.
Yep.
And they'll find a very trustworthy looking young lady.
Oh,
in a
very
jail cell.
trustworthy. She's only in a jail cell.
Yeah, I mean, you can trust her. Nice, he got it.
Oh, no,
he
that's what I was
got
talking about earlier, even if you get the God Pixel. That was still a pretty good setup, though. All right, so he's going to be headed to the cells to the right here to pick up the maiden. Josh is going to activate the flute, while Blunt makes his way to King Helmasaur. Nice turtles room there.
Yeah, we definitely have 10
Yep.
for a few more donations as we get down into this part of Thieves Town.
Great. I have $100 from Offered Leak. Great to see the Zelda speedrun in teams, because after all, it's dangerous to go alone. Thanks to everyone at GDQ for all their hard work for charity. $25 from Sorcerer Siege, watching amazing games ran by fantastic runners and donating to a great cause. Couldn't be better. Thank you, GDQ, for continuing to make these spectacular events.
Blunt gets some bad RNG in this fight.
Gotta be careful.
He's gonna take it slow and just control it with the sword swipes here. Nice job.
Good cleanup.
How's she keeping up with it? I think you might be right.
Oh yeah.
Well, she has a pair of Pegasus boots as well.
All right, so we're gonna get the mitts in this dungeon here, which will allow us to get the temperate sword once we get out of here to make the following dungeons and bosses much easier to kill.
So the boss of this dungeon, is there any tricks or strategies that are 100% consistent?
Absolutely. So the boss in this dungeon is blind. Of course, this maiden turns into the boss, shocker.
What?
But the blind fight has a script to it. So as long as you have the right movement, this boss is going to do the same exact thing every time. The fireballs are going to go the same exact way. So as long as everything is done correctly, it goes exactly the same. So it's a pretty easy script once you know it. But learning it can be quite difficult. Got a little off track there, but still a great fight.
Nothing.
Sharp orb.
I was waiting for something. All right, we're gonna see how the conveyor room goes down here for Josh. There's pretty good RNG in that room. See if he sets it up right in the middle.
Got it.
Oh, in there.
Got
Hey!
him. Nice dash. Perfect. That is a pixel perfect trick. Or a dash, I should say. Here at the top of the screen, you'll see the item dash with the hammer. Like I said before, the item dashing is a Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitch. It does come in handy with quite a few items that we utilize in this NMG run.
So we're going to be doing a little bit of collecting here in the Village of Outcast. We need 500 rupees. We're going to get a little extra, a little extra pocket money for Link here.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go shopping. So these two chests that we're gonna get here coming out both have 300 rupees in them. So we're gonna pick up the first one, and then we're gonna stay at the bottom, and we're gonna collect the frog or the dwarf. Frog in the dark world, dwarf in the light world. And we are gonna get our sword tempered into a sword that's a little bit more powerful, which is the tempered sword. And of course, he's gonna charge us 10 rupees.
Hey, you saved my life. Now give me money.
That's a pretty cheap swordsmith.
It is.
It's the cost of materials.
Yeah.
All right, so this action that's going on here with the dwarf, this actually got changed up recently. Basically, this is now called the Blanksmiths. And what this helped us do RTA-wise, it made it a little bit smoother. It is a little bit faster, but it avoids us picking up rocks and throwing them on the right time, the right frame, and dashing and quick hopping off things. So it's a little bit more RTA friendly, and just helps us save just a little bit more time and gives us kind of that ease of comfort. So we got to talk to him one last time to get our sword.
Meanwhile, Josh about to head into the blind fight as well.
Or-
There we go.
So I want to make sure I explain this right away here. We got the most important trick of this run coming up right here, the fence dash. Simply left and A on the same frame and you're good to go. Oh, baby. If you don't get that trick, you got to reset.
I've bunked so many times on that fence. I'm
Perfect blind fight.
Nice.
Nice job.
We're at 535K. We're getting closer, Jam. Can we get to 550?
I think we can. The rate things are going.
Do we have any donations we can read off at the moment?
Sure. I have $25 from Sporadic Erratic. I set my text notification to the link to the past text noise, so every time I watch a speedrun, I feel so popular. Had to donate during one of my favorite games of all time. I could never beat Skull Woods as a kid. Please wreck it for me. Love from the front row.
Mummy room is the best room. Nice. So as you see, some of the runners here, what they do when they're pushing statues, they're gonna wobble back and forth. It actually helps out with diagonal movement to push them much faster. But that room can go wrong very quickly with the mummies getting in your way, and then you have to pull the statue from the other side, and it can go sideways real fast. So, all right, we got another bomb jump here. Early bomb. That is pretty nice, yes. The hybrid again. It's like the early bomb jump along with the sword spin setup.
One more try at the hallway, and he gets
Oh,
the pixel.
Pixel
Nice.
perfect, nice. Thumbs up for Blunt.
All three of them hit the pixel.
They did.
Crazy.
Oh. Teej just got unfortunate RNG there, but yeah, all three hit the God Pixel.
So we're not going to see a lot of Skull Woods, but we are going to see the final boss, and this boss is annoying.
Yeah, so Mothula can be a giant bully if it wants to be. So basically, where Teach is going right now, he's at the back half of Skull Woods. And from the Mothula fight, there are a few things that you need to remember during the fight. You never want to hit Mothula into the spikes because due to the game code, since the spikes do damage, they didn't want Mothula to receive damage. So if you end up hitting Mothula into the spikes, it's going to override your sword damage, and it's just going to do nothing. Mothula does like to sit at the top every once in a while and just chill. But as you see here, what he's going to do is he's going to initially set up for a double hit. He's going to charge his sword, and he's going to bonk. So it doesn't look like he got the double hit here, but going for a couple of poke. Nice, that's a great fight. You can elect to poke Mothula as well. If you do a dash poke, you actually get full sword damage out of it, basically holding your sword out, and right when you're about to damage the enemy or poke the enemy, you hit the dash button. That'll give you basically full sword or swing damage.
Meanwhile, Team P-Hat and Blunt Bunny about to fight his blind fight. 2 really good blind fights so far. Can we make it 3 for 3?
If you have any donations, now's a good time.
I do. I have $100 from Deadlink. This Zelda Relay has been great so far, and I couldn't think of a better time to donate. All of the runners have been amazing. Always great to see the community come together for a great cause. Also, shout out to Fricker killing it on comms. Let's hit 550K.
Oh, baby. Yo, thank you, Dave. All right, blind fight's looking pretty good so far.
Nice.
Perfect, nice.
It is a script, but it's still relatively execution heavy. You still
It
have
is.
to know.
You got to have the right. It's the right, same script, but you got to have the same movement as well. So what TGH just did there, that's a newer find of this. I wouldn't say this year because it's 2020, of course, but last year it's what they call it a spooky action glitch. You're going to see more of it in Misery Mire, which I'll talk about. But when he transitioned that screen, he used his flute, and what that flute's going to do is it's going to set an altitude variable that the bird has. And for this specific part in Ice Palace, it's going to be the first room in ice. It's going to allow him to get a larger splash damage with a higher altitude to kill the first enemy much sooner. There is some crazy things that we're going to do with this, like I said, Misery Mire, but once we get there, I'll talk a little bit about that. But right now, we're headed to the Flippers, and along with getting our Quake Medallion.
And we get a bonk.
So that bonk, it's not just about swag. It looks pretty swaggy, but what that bonk actually does is it positions Link in a quick warp position. So he's going to save the 34 frames right here. He's going to have a faster transition.
And it does look cool, too.
It does look cool. Oh, yeah.
All right, Mothula fight number 2 for Josh now. Little low on health. Should be okay.
All right, let's see if Josh gets the double hit here. He's got it. Oh, we just got to stay at the top.
Nice.
So good. It's unfortunate we have to pay 500 rupees for Flippers.
They don't have eBay yet. I think that's the problem. But what we do have is probably some more donations we can get.
Yep.
Yeah, I have $250 from Monete. Watching the runners navigate these Zelda games so fast is incredible. Every year, they're revealing new strats. How do they find them all?
That was a very good pun.
I must stay up past midnight to find out how this race ends.
Ooh, bad RNG.
That's our RNG.
Yeah.
So you want to enter Ice Palace with full hearts, or else Ice 2 is going to be a little bit lengthy. But what you're going to see here is Teach is actually going to shoot the fire rod just a little bit earlier than expected. And because he set that bird altitude a little bit higher, he's going to be able to get this kill much sooner. Nice. All right, so Ice Palace has quite a bit of ice physics. Some spike rooms to go along with it, and the most important, the Ice Palace bomb jump. And why that's important is because it helps us skip about half the dungeon. So obviously, since we're speedrunning, we want to go fast. we want to definitely do those tricks.
A lot of these ice physics in this dungeon can be mitigated with the use of the sword to get around.
Yeah, swinging your sword, using an item like the hammer, dashing at certain points while you're on the ice. It allows you to change your momentum and just get a better understanding of those ice physics. All right, so we're coming up on the Ice Palace conveyor room here. We got to kill the second blue jelly on the left for a key. He's going to take in damage from the spike there. That was intentional. It allows him to line up directly in between the spikes to be able to dash. Right. So he actually, going for that Ice Palace bomb jump, he actually corrected his movement with sword buffers, which is a little bit more advanced, but sword buffering up a few pixels or down a few pixels just to make sure that you're on the right one for the bomb jump. But that does allow us to skip half the dungeon. And we don't need a big key here, and we also don't need to grab the chest.
We do need to fight a boss.
Oh, yes. So what TGH just did there is he did a stair clip, which is a newer find as well. So basically, utilizing that ice physics and that momentum, he held the sword and released it at the right time to enter the bottom portion of that stair clip. And the cool part about that is he actually got the right pixel on the right side, which saved a little bit of time. If you would have got the left pixel, on the left side of the stairs, he would actually take an extra heart of damage from an invisible spike. Invisible, I don't understand, but TGH heading into the cold stare fight. This could be a scary fight. Cold stare does 4 hearts of damage, especially since we're still on green mail. He's gonna do the single poke strategy here. Right on.
Nice, that was
beautiful
perfect.
fight.
And now Blunt Bunny on his Mothula fight. Nice.
Also a great fight.
Perfect. It's so great to see just top runners just smoke through these bosses super quickly.
Yeah.
The amount of practice and strategies that they put in is absolutely incredible. Definitely time to read some donations if we have any.
Yeah. We have $25 from Rin the Bedouin. Says, the Legend of Zelda series has brought me much peace and serenity amid what feels like endless cycles of medical issues. I'm always overjoyed to watch Zelda speedruns to bask in the nostalgia and comfort that all the music and sound effects still conjure up. Thank you, the person hearing this now, for what you are doing to make the world better. Love, Rin.
That deserves a round of applause,
Oh,
ladies
yeah.
and gentlemen. Let's get the noise for that.
More. I need more donations, please.
I have $25 from John Locke Phone Punch that just says, Zelda! $10 from Midna84. Link to the past? More like Link to the fast. I could watch you play again on again. You guys, Hyrule. Keep up the great work. Hiya!
So this, there's one thing I do want to explain here. You're going to see TGH going directly into Swamp Palace. Both Blunt Bunny and Josh RTA, they're going to have a little bit of a route divergence. Definitely optional here, just to basically RTA-wise make sure that they don't lose hearts for the Misery Mire, just because you have to go through Death Mountain, and when RNG is not on your side, it's not on your side. So we're going to see a route divergence here on the shopping trip to get the Ether Medallion and the Ice Rod. So it's going to be a little bit different after Ice Palace for 2 out of the 3 runners.
Not a huge time save, just more or less their preference.
Correct. The route divergence actually loses some time because they're not going to be able to do the stair climb, which saves about a second or so, but it's a little bit safer. Consistency equals speed. A wise man once said.
So the swamp is one of those dungeons that it's deceptive in time losses. You can lose time easily.
Yes.
Because it's not one of those dungeons that, as a runner, you're just kind of, it's almost like you take it lightly, and then next thing you know, you're losing a ton of time.
Yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about Swamp. I just wanted to make sure this full stair fight went well. Nice.
Nice.
Double poke. Or, no, I'm sorry, single poke. So Swamp Palace, yes, it is very deceptive. there are a lot of rooms that have water, which obviously slows Link's movement down. So the importance of maximizing your dashes and good movement is going to be ideal in this palace. And the other thing where you can lose a lot of time is this is actually the second dungeon of the game that is intended. So the enemies don't do a lot of damage, but you can get blocked by quite a few of them, basically hitting you out of your dashes and just losing quite a bit of time. So as a speedrunner point of view is this dungeon, you can definitely bleed a lot of time without good movement. Any donations? You can feel free
I
to
was
read them up.
just about to ask. We have $1,000 from Genji Glove.
Beautiful.
Says, the legend of AGDQ making cancer a thing of the past. Awesome run, everybody. 550K hype.
Hype!
We have $25 from Pizza Sandwich. Thank you, GDQ, for doing what you do. A Link to the Past is one of my all-time favorite games, so it's great to see it played by 3 runners simultaneously. Truly a tri-force for good. Good luck to all the runners.
You just saw an item dash right there through a pot.
So Josh headed up to the top of Death Mountain. He's got to get the item you were referring to earlier.
Yep. He is actually going for the Ether Medallion right now. So he's got to utilize his book on the tablet up here. He's going to grab the Ether Medallion, and then he's going to go straight to Swamp after this. But basically, that helps him save a heart in the Meyer segment. Well, actually, it can help save a heart, so he doesn't have to worry about bad mountain RNG, but... All right, so we're about halfway done with Swamp here. We got to do some backtracking, go back through some of the rooms we've already been after we got the big key. A lot of RNG, a lot of enemies we got to get through.
It's kind of a slog.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so deceptively difficult, because you kind of just are going through the motions, and next thing you know, you're taking bops from something.
Absolutely. Perfect Ice Palace Bomb jump from Blunt Bunny there. So now we have the hook shot. We're going to do a little trick here because we had lined with the statue on the right. We're able to hook shot right to that middle pot. Go on through. See, it's just some of those little hits that come out of nowhere can definitely slow you down. We're going to do a trick here called a hook dash, or we're going to hook dash to this pot, and it's going to allow us to be in a state where we can pick up that top left pot first try. I know that pot can be a little bit difficult to pick up sometimes if you don't do the right maneuvers and get yourself in the right state for that. We got Josh entering Swamp Palace, and then we have Blunt coming up here to the Cold Stare fight. I know Blunt's going to go for the single poke. It does take 8 Fire Rod shots, which is all of your magic, to get rid of Cold Stare's Ice Shield. Let's see if he hits it up here. Single poke. And release the spin. Beautiful. Nice. That's a scary fight. You end up, unfortunately, dying to Cold Stare. You have to have magic to get back in, so it's either you sit and you farm for magic right there outside of Ice Palace, or you just do Swamp. Nice Zero Cycle from
I gotta learn that.
That is beautiful. So, Zero Cycle Argus saves about 6 seconds. It can be pretty difficult to do, but like I talked about earlier about hook dashing, you can hold your sword out in this fight. You can do a hook dash, which basically puts Link in a state where his sword does slash damage instead of poke damage. So that's why those puffs from Argus were immediately dying, because they normally take a swing to kill instead of a poke. So if you hook dash the first one and then you time the hooks after that correctly, along with making sure that you balance your movement back and forth to make sure that you have the puffs basically killed in a nice pattern that they don't bring you against the bottom wall. It can be pretty difficult to do, but like I said, it saves about 6 seconds, along with an extra few seconds for the quick kill with the Fire Rod.
So Now,
Time
blunt.
for-
Yeah, go ahead.
I've got $20 from Bully Mania. Says, hey everybody, sad I can't be there to watch in person, but donating a Bully, Red Rupee, to some of my favorite Zelda runners. Glad to see everyone representing the great community for the series. Donation to JSR's choice, as long as it's a thing.
That's the thing now.
That's the thing.
Give it to winner's choice.
All right, so now TGH is going to go on his shopping trip. So he's going to climb the mountain, he's going to get his ether, and then right after he's going to get his ice rod. While the other two runners had already gotten their ether before Swamp, and they are going to get the ice rod in the Turtle Rock split. So just a little bit of route divergence, not too much difference. Hits the quick warp there. Saving 34 frames.
Those are little things that I was learning as I was learning the game that you don't really notice until you start really improving the game. It doesn't look like much, but if you do that throughout the run, you're going to save a few seconds.
12 and a half seconds.
It's free if you do it right.
Well, if
you do it right.
It's free until it's not.
Yeah,
free.
exactly.
All right, so he's going to go get his ice rod.
And now into Happy Mire.
So what you just saw there, I know the mirror block erase is actually another Japanese 1.0 exclusive glitch that you saw over on blunt screen. So basically, if you spam the mirror while the block is in motion, you're able to just erase it. Fantastic. This is a great game.
Wish I could do that in real life.
I know, right? All right, so this is a pretty important room, the second room of Misery Mire. You have a lot of enemies. You don't want to waste too much time, so you want to see if we can get everything on the one cycle because the whiz robes in this room do disappear on a timer.
Nice.
Perfect. Oh! That was my fault. I spoke too soon. Blame me. That is a pretty tough room to get all those movements down and know exactly what you need to do in a specific period of time.
It was still pretty clean. I mean, you didn't lose a cycle there, so that was still pretty good.
All right, Josh going for the 0 cycle on Argus.
Ooh.
Unfavorable RNG. Argus does have different movement patterns that he can do. It can be slow, it can be medium, it can be fast. So sometimes you just can't get the 0 cycle. Going for the quick kill with the fire rod. Gets
Nice.
it.
A lot of rooms in Mire that we're not even going to see. Like that one above with the torches. I believe it's the compass, right? Up there?
Yeah. It's actually a good time if you have any donations as well. Trick that you saw there as well is TGH actually was able to utilize the fire rod through the blocks to hit the torches. So you can use items, fire rod and the hook shot is what two items that we use while we move a block in this run.
Well, surely that's the last amazing fire rod thing related in this dungeon that we're going to see. Surely.
Surely. No, but so I don't want to explain too much of it to make it confusing, but this is the part that we're gonna start getting ready for what they call the spooky action glitch. And the first part of this, of course, was when the bird dropped us off initially, we opened up the Misery Mire portal. We picked up the rock from the bottom to give ourselves a little bit of time for the bird to fly up higher off the screen. That sets our variable altitude. I said that kind of goofy. Our variable altitude. My Minnesota accent, I don't know. So anyway, so basically what he's going to do, he's got the higher altitude, and we don't want to override that altitude and make it disappear, which a laying down and blowing up a Samaria block would do. So what we're going to do is we're going to create dust, which is actually called ancilla, and we're going to override that slot so we hold that altitude variable, which basically means that we're able to utilize the fire rod for a much higher variable and actually hit a switch in Misery Mire that we don't even see. I know that was a lot.
Teach did touch those spikes on the way through there, down to 7.5 hearts. Should be okay.
So you're going to see TGH, before he places the red block down,
Nice.
he's going to dash. All right, so what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to, in the next room here, we're going to fire rod a spike, and it's actually going to hit a switch in the next room. Oh, we got it. So TGH missed the first one, so he's only going to be able to do this room right here. He's going to hit this anti-fairy, going to hit the switch in the next room above. That allows us to go straight through the room. We don't have to bomb that and hit the switch. He did have to do the old way of hitting the switch in this third room just because he accidentally missed the first fire rod shot there, but still saved quite a bit of time. Spooky action glitch, recently discovered, and it saves about 11 seconds in your run.
Uncle Viddy.
Uncle Viddy. So this is kind of a goofy fight. We're intentionally taking damage here from the acid pool, giving ourselves iframes, and releasing a spin on these iframes. Oh, mother of pearl. That was close. 8 arrows to take him out.
Nice.
Oh, man. That was scary. All right, we're going to see a zero cycle attempt here on Argus from Blunt Bunny. Oh, baby.
There it is.
We did it.
That is the coolest.
Oh, I didn't do it.
Oh. That's okay. This is fine.
And we're in.
Nice.
Any donations at all?
Yeah, with $50 from Varsity. Super happy to see this relay for AGDQ2020. Zelda was my go-to game growing up and makes young me happy to see these runners destroy these bosses 8-year-old me had issues with. Keep on keeping on. $10 from Rekor. It's truly remarkable the love that can be spread from people joining together and playing video games. Absolutely love GDQ, a spectacle of human compassion that is unmatched.
Oh, go ahead.
With $50 from Hedgeshinsky, the speedrun community always has a special place in my heart because everyone from the runners to the viewers is so supportive. Keep on going and save those frames.
All right, well, TGH is getting his ice rod. Josh is going to start his segment of spooky action glitch, using that dust or that Ancilla from the kicking up portion of the dash part. All right. Fire rod and the spike. Utilizing the dash. So in this room, we didn't see this on the first time, but he's actually going to fire rod the bottom part of this torch. It's going to hit a switch, so we don't have to hit the switch here above us.
We get Viddy number 2.
Video number 2.
Probably the scariest fight.
Yeah, just intentionally taking all this damage can be pretty scary. The eyeballs actually do 4 hearts of damage.
Nice. Very nice.
Nice fight from Joe.
All right.
Wow.
Nice good Meyer 2 room from Blunt. TGH is opening up Turtle Rock here.
So going into Turtle Rock, we still have Green Tunic.
We
still
do.
have the Tempered Sword. So we went from overpowered to underpowered in just a matter of minutes. What's the things we're going to be looking out for as far as survival and speed?
Yeah, well, especially being, or still having the Green Tunic here, all the enemies in Turtle Rock just hit like a truck. They're going to do a lot of damage. Some of the big ones are going to be the Pokies, but more importantly, the Chain Chomps. You can get real bad RNG with Chain Chomps. They can get in your way. You can't kill them. There's literally nothing that you can do. You have to basically hit the switch twice and make sure that you don't get hit. They also do 4 full hearts damage. Coming up on this room right here, we're going to light these 4 torches on this platform, and we're going to hook to the bottom left one and intentionally fall so we can get to the top door that unlocks a little bit quicker.
I guess it counts.
We're going to utilize hook iframes right here. During the hook animation, you cannot be hit. And on the way back, we're intentionally going to take damage, utilize the iframes, and then dash through the next one.
Yeah, and that roller room is a lot tighter timing than it looks. It's very difficult to pull off.
Yeah, utilizing the iframes to get past that spike. 60 frames for your invulnerability frames, which is just 1 full second.
All right, chain chomp room number 1. This is another scary room.
Here we go. Good RNG. That was perfect.
In there.
Nice.
Easy game.
Easy game, easy life. Any donations? We got some time.
Yeah, we have $10 from John P. Happy to once again donate every Games Done Quick. Watching all of these amazing runs makes the week go faster. Hoping to hit that 50K before this run is done.
Nice.
We have less than, what, $12,000 until that 550K mark?
Let's get there.
Do it.
Yeah, we're so close.
There's still some time left.
Thank you to everybody who's been donating.
I have $25 from Ayubushi. The Legend of Zelda was always my favorite game series growing up. Seeing these Zelda games done so fast and in a row has been an amazing treat. Keep up the great job and let's kick cancer to the curb.
All right, so TGH making his way through Turtle Rock. He's going to have one more room that he's going to go through, the double pokey room. I believe there is 16 RNGs that you can possibly get.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot. They can go many different ways. It's a pretty easy one.
Looks like Blunt got the spoopy glitch perfect.
The room coming up here is actually a timed room for the room ahead of that room. So as long as we get through this room with 2 dashes cleanly, we're going to be able to set up what they call the squeeze strategy. Makes it a little bit easier with the beams. We're able to squeeze right by this roller, and we're out. Nice
Nice
bitty.
fight.
Oh!
Oof. There we go.
So going through the dark maze, we do have to intentionally take just 1 hit of damage from the fire bar there. But coming through the last 2 doors, going south at the toward the end of Turtle Rock here, we're gonna do a strategy called laser skip. What the game intends you to have is the mirror shield. It allows you to block the lasers, but that sounds slow, so we're just gonna skip right past it. So the upcoming fight is Trinex. So he has 2 heads, the left one and the right one. You have to utilize both the fire rod and the ice rod to be able to defeat each one, using the opposite rod of exactly what they are. So the ice rod on the fire head, the fire rod on the ice head.
Having
a little bit of
trouble
adventure here. Let's use the pod. This is fine. We did it, Teach. We did it. We're out. We're alive.
It was an RG minute.
Oh, yeah. Definitely for Ganon's Tower.
Gonna get the best Trinex pattern.
So we're going to do a strategy here on Trinex. We're going to dash all the way up to the top. We're going to use the ice rod slash 4 times. Use the ice rod 1 more time. Switch over to fire rod. You are not able to go into the item menu during the transition where the head is actually have been defeated. So we need to switch beforehand, take out the other head over there, and then we're going to set up a double spin and an extra slash for the win. Blood headed up to T-Rock, and Josh going to the roller room number 2 for the squeeze. He does not have the beams here, so we're gonna see a squeeze from Josh. Nice, that's a very tight trick there. Any donations, feel free.
$5 from McBanked. Where did Link find the princess? In her cell, duh.
Zelda.
Oh, I get it.
We have $25 from Inu. I've played through all the Legend of Zelda games by myself plenty of times, but I never imagined that Zelda could be such an enjoyable shared experience. Watching this relay race has made me realize that these games are really meant to be played with other people. I don't think I'll ever want to game-alone again. Oh my God, I butchered that. I don't think I'll ever want to game alone ever again.
That's okay. Phillips butchered that too.
This is fine.
An attempt was made.
All right, so we got Josh coming up on the Trinex fight. Tej is headed to Gannis Tower, open it up. Gannis Tower is a very difficult dungeon to get through. You see a lot of cool tricks in there. The enemies hit very hard, especially still being on the green armor. But definitely a lot of tough rooms to get through and a lot of really cool tricks to see. See if we get another clean Trinex fight here. Looking good so far. Oh.
So again, in this tower, there's a lot of keys that we have to get, and there's a lot of places that we can go to check, but we're going to be taking a very specific path here.
Yep, so we're going to be taking the left side of Gannis Tower. Nice Trinex fight from Josh. So along the way here, we are going to grab a few more keys. We have a few teleports to take. Basically, all the chests that you see through these rooms are just going to be keys to allow us to progress a little bit further until we get to the Armos refight. So Gannis Tower, we have to refight the 3 Light World bosses before we get a shot at Aghanim or Aghanim 2, which was also part of the Light World. Aghanim 2 is a little bit different, but as far as the refights on the Light World bosses, they have a little bit of a twist to them. So the refight coming up here for Armos, the twist is it's Armos on ice.
Is that like a special that you can get tickets for on Ticketmaster?
Yeah, brought to you by Disney. The very same.
So here we go, about to fight our first of the free fights, and
This fight can be pretty fun on the ice. So one goofy thing about the Armos fight, or the refight I should say, is by any chance, if you don't get the quick kill on the last Armos, you spend a little bit of time in there, that actually does change up your Ganon fight a little bit with how the bats are formed and where they fly out. It's called the arc variable. So you definitely don't want to spend any more time in that room than you need to. So definitely some tough rooms in here. You got spikes. You have quite a bit of enemies right on this one. Here we go. So these mimics, the mimics have very goofy movement. Of course, they mimic your movement, but it's a little hard when they're in different areas. You have Beamos in the rooms trying to hit you with lasers. You have spikes all around. So definitely, ooh.
that was pretty cool.
The bow dash.
Yeah,
You don't see that too often. Nice.
that was perfect.
So TGH is coming up on what they call the Gauntlet. 5 straight rooms of pure evil from the developers here. So basically the Gauntlet, you have to kill all the enemies in the room to have access to the next room as the door opens. Starts off with conveyors, then you have more enemies with conveyors, and then an added Beamos. Stealthos just do not like to play nice. And then we've added spikes now.
Ah,
Beautiful.
the RNG in this room is so...
Well, how can we get better? Let's add ice. And then let's just make the last room completely ice.
That's actually, ironically, one of the easiest ones in the entire game.
It is. You are correct, it is. So the Landmola 2 fight here, the twist is you're going to have a turret, what they call it, shooting out fireballs at you. Nice. That was nice to get a 1 cycle on that.
And then
Josh,
Josh,
in the Armos fight.
perfect.
Oh!
Oh, no!
Hey.
I blame you.
That was me. That was me. I'll take it.
Cleaned up, though.
And a great Trinex fight from Blunt. Nice job. So I always love seeing these 2 Wizrobe rooms in Gannis Tower utilizing the Canis Samaria. It just looks super cool. being able to kill all the Wizrobes in one block. Oh, yeah. If you have any donations, now is a good time.
I have $25 from Jake, says, such an amazing relay. All the runners have been great, and A Link to the Past has always been my favorite. $10 from So Mad, couldn't figure out if I wanted to donate during the Zelda or Final Fantasy runs. $10 now and $10 as soon as it starts. Thanks, GDQ. $25 from Paul87. Good luck, everyone. But if you lose, take heart. It will just start an awesome alternate timeline.
All right, so coming up on the Moldorm 2 refight, I'll explain it on another runner because Tija's gonna hover here. So hovering is a trick where basically you hit the A or the dash button, and on the next frame you need to release it, and then on the next frame you need to hit it again. Basically, starting up a dash and stopping it, starting up a dash will allow you to hover a gap. Nice. Nice job, Tej. That is a very, very difficult trick to do. You have to worry about the speed that you're hitting A and letting go of it. You have to worry about the pressure that you're applying to the button. A lot of factors in that trick. So here we have the Aghanim refight. The twist is now there's 3 of them, but only one of them is the actual Aga that you can damage. So he's going to have energy balls that you have to deflect back at the real Aghanim. And the same concept applies. So on the second one here, you have a 50-50 chance at an energy ball or a blue ball. And this fight is impossible. It's very deceptive.
Plus, you get a good setup, and then you might have 2 of those shots hit at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Cancels one out. It's
2.
He can get out of sync. He can do a lot of goofy things.
Cleaned it up nicely.
All right, so we have the Ganon fight coming up, which is the final boss of the game.
Ganon can do a lot of damage, and
Yeah, you don't want to give Ganon hugs with green mail at all. They'll do quite a bit. I believe it's 8 hearts of damage.
yeah.
All right, so the Ganon fight, there is quite a bit of strategy that goes along into it. He has 4 separate phases. The first phase, I should have expected that. The first phase here, he has his trident that he spins and he throws at you. We're gonna get a 1-in-1 cycle on this with the double spin on the trident there. Going in 12 hits. Second phase with the fire ring in the bats. We're gonna get another 12 hits here. Avoid the bats within the circle. And we're on to phase 3.
Wow.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So every time you hit Ganon on phase 3, which is gonna be 4 total times, each row of the outer side of the blocks or the tiles disappear, which you can fall down and have to restart the Ganon fight. And of course, as you see here, Ganon has warps that he just randomly can either do 0 of or 20. It's a nice first spin. So the torch glitch that we're gonna set up here. Nice. So if you light the left torch right when it goes out and before the right torch goes out, the right torch will infinitely stay lit. It's about a 20 frame window that you have after the left torch goes out. So it can be a little bit tight. Hitting the torch glitch not only saves you time, but it also saves you magic, which can be pretty important in this fight. We're also doing this fight silverless. So we're utilizing a spin to open up the frame window on hitting Ganon without having to utilize silver arrows. And we need 12 spins on Ganon in phase 4 to defeat him.
Team Sitting Sideways finishes off Aga 2, and we'll be headed to
There we
Ganon.
go.
But there it is, our winners.
GG.
Zelda Relay. Can we get a round of applause for Team Pro TGMH time when they go into the Triforce room? And there it is.
Nice.
Yeah. Winner.
GG. All right, we got
Incredible.
Josh on the Ganon fight here. See how this goes. Josh hitting the trident spin there. All right, so phase 1 is complete. Going on to phase 2, another 12 hits. Gonna use those hook eye frames to not get hit. Got our 12 hits in. Off to phase 3. How many warps are we gonna get here?
Nice one cycle for Blunt.
Ooh, no Ganon warps so far for Josh. Ooh, I spoke too soon. Oh, snap. French toast. Okay, there we go.
French toast.
So he got a blue Ganon there. Basically what that means is the free spin was unavailable because Ganon was already going to teleport to that same exact spot. So we unfortunately didn't get the chance at the free spin. But we got 12 more spins here. Utilizing the fire rod on the left torch allows us to get triple hits each time before we have to light it again. Timing the spins when he throws a bat out, baiting the bat a specific direction, moving out of the way and releasing the spin. Just so happens to set up the spin time perfectly. There we go.
It is.
GG for Josh.
And Team Sit Sideways finishing in second place in the Zelda Relay. And now, a bit of a situation here in the final stretch of GT for Blunt here.
Yeah, Blunt's, he's got 2 hearts going into Moldorm 2, and of course the Aghanim 2 fight. He's gonna have to take this a little bit careful. You end up dying here in GT, you gotta go all the way back to the bottom and reclimb the tower again. Nice Moldorm refight. Using that hook through the blocks.
Look at the time. It's exactly 2 minutes apart after a 3-hour and 15-minute race.
That's crazy.
Insane
That is
to
crazy.
me.
All right, off to our Aghanim 2 our Aghanim 2 fight. So he's down to 2 hearts. He's got to be a little bit careful here. If he gets hit by a blue ball or an energy ball, it's going to take only 1 heart away. Nice.
Nice.
Nice. And we're off to the Ganon fight.
So as we wait for this last Ganon fight, maybe some final donations to be read as we prepare.
Yeah, $75 from an anonymous donor. The Legend of Zelda series has always been my favorite. Watching you guys play has been a blast. The puns have been all right, too. $50 from RRR. Zelda has a special place in my heart, and so does my mom. She beat cancer once already, just got diagnosed before Christmas, and she is on the path to beating it again. Let's beat these games and cancer together and keep up the good fight.
Woo! Meanwhile, Blunt just casually destroying Ganon with 2 hearts.
Gotta love that dash strategy.
Top tier Ganon fights are just so amazing to watch.
Blunt's on phase 3, getting a few extra warps. He's got 1 more hit. Get into phase 4. There we go. Setting up the free spin. All right. Oh, gonna go right to the torch. Got it. RHD 12 spins and we are good to go. He's gonna let, oh, there we go.
Should get a triple here.
Yep, this will be a triple. Sometimes you just have to prepare Link to move on specific sides. Just seeing where Ganon's gonna warp, because you only have a certain amount of time before he actually leaves this spot. That was pretty smart to get out of the way there.
Yeah.
Unfavorable spot that he chose. 1 more spin. Yep,
There it is. What a clutch fight.
Woo!
Wow.
2 hearts through the end of G Tower and all through Ganon. Fantastic job.
the 9 best runners in the world separated by less than 6 minutes after
That's
3 hours.
incredible.
That's insane. Give it up for Team P-Hat and all of the 9 runners tonight. What an amazing race. Thank you so much to everybody up there. What a show they put on tonight. To all the co-commentators, and along with my co-commentator, Jam,
Thank
and
you.
everybody involved in putting this relay together. You guys are awesome. Keep donating. Let's hit that goal as soon as we can, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great evening.
I have a shout-out donation to the commentators, $250. From Kiwi63 says, hi everyone, just wanted to say thank you to the commentators of this run. I'm not very familiar with those particular Zelda games, but I've been able to understand most of what's happening on my screen. So thank you guys. What a fantastic Zelda Relay. Thank you to everyone who has been keeping it so hype in the stream room down here. Thank you to all the runners. Thank you to the commentators. That was an absolute blast to watch. And thank you to everyone who has been donating. We can't do this without you. Thank you for supporting this fantastic cause. We're gonna take a quick break to play a Twitch ad. We'll be back soon. Stick around. All right, everyone, welcome back. We have $50 from Dirty Shuff, says, cancer sucks, Zelda rules, and thanks for the awesome runs. $10 from Kokiri says, gaming has always been my passion and Zelda has always been my go-to game. I'm so happy and filled with so much excitement to see everyone come together to kick cancer to the curb. We have $25 from Trumpet, who says, who is Link's favorite Final Fantasy character? It's Zelda. We have $10 from Devilor, who says, anyone know a good place to buy spaghetti online? I need that link to the pasta. Dr. Sleepytime is given $50 and says, I had a whole year to think of something clever to say here. Got nothing, so I guess I'll just honk the hype train and wish the runners good luck. We have $10 from Kamaboko, who says, I beat cancer when I was 15, and now I'm finally being able to make a donation while watching these awesome Zelda runs with my boyfriend. This is the best thing in the world and the best revenge I could have had on the disease. Keep hope, everyone. Coming up next, we have a run of Final Fantasy VIII. And there are some crazy incentives and challenges and bid wars going on right now, one of which is to name Squall. And there is a ferocious bid war going on between Badger and Squeal. So if you have an opinion, if you want to have a say in naming that character, get your donations in now. The Eyes on Me challenge for Final Fantasy has been met. So that will be happening. Nice job, everyone. We have 2 additional challenges for Final Fantasy. We have a blindfolded menu segment, which proves to be very entertaining. We're, I think, we're a little over halfway towards that one. And then we have a defeat Omega weapon incentive. And we need still just shy of $10,000 for that one. Check those out on the website and add your donation to them if they call to you, which they should. They sound really great. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for me tonight. Thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out with us. Please stick around for the Final Fantasy run. Yo BGS is going to be taking over the mic. Have fun.
Welcome back, everybody, to Awesome Games Done Quick 2020. I'm YoBGS, and I will be your host for, well, at least the first part of the Final Fantasy VIII all-night spectacular, incredible marathon run by Toju, Mutski, and Luzbelheim. They're still getting everything set up, and while they do, we got a few donations here to read. We do have a $1,000 donation from No Name that says, "Keep up the good work." We will. We also have a $250 donation from players A and B with no comment. I do want to take a quick moment to remind you, we have some time to get these in. You know, this is a long run coming up, but if you want to see this trio defeat Omega Weapon, we're going to need to raise a little bit less than $10,000 more. Now, Omega Weapon's got 1 million hit points, so, you know, $10,000, 1 million hit points, seems like a pretty good deal to me. We've also got the blindfolded menu segment. That's going to be coming up a little bit later in the run. It's more than 2 minutes of menuing, getting everything set and good to go. And somehow, Luzbelheim is going to do it wearing a blindfold. I don't think I could do it if he was sitting there telling me what to do and I didn't have a blindfold on, but we'll see if he does it. If you donate, we're at about $8,500 of $15,000 for that incentive. Now, the start of the Final Fantasy VIII any percent co-op relay does mean there are going to be some amazing prizes that you will be able to donate for as soon as that relay gets started, including some Final Fantasy medal prints, a Final Fantasy prize pack, a cool FF7 poster, all sorts of amazing things that you will be able to get in for with your donations once we kick this next run off. We have a $50 donation from the man with the hex who says, a shout out to the crowd who are having a great time, even if it's the middle of the night here. I don't know, man with the hex, I couldn't tell. Are they having a great time? We do have a $100 donation from Kaw that says our roommate's mother was just diagnosed with cancer, so it feels appropriate to donate during one of my favorite games of all time to support this important cause. Good luck on FF8, runners. We have $50 from Dr. Spaceman Spiff saying, just got back in time to the end of the Zelda Relay. Gonna stay up all night for the Final Fantasy run. That is a great choice, Dr. Spaceman Spiff. Thank you very much for your generosity. We got a $50 donation from Brian L. with some good news saying, thanks to everyone involved with AGDQ for this incredible event. I beat cancer a month ago and just got engaged over the holidays. Let's all donate so everyone can be as lucky as me. And don't forget, donations for Awesome Games Done Quick 2020 will be going to the Prevent Cancer Foundation, founded in 1985. It's a U.S.-based nonprofit organization. Their mission is to save lives across all populations through cancer prevention and early detection by focusing their work through research, education, outreach, and advocacy. Their vision is to stop cancer before it starts. You can find out more information about PCF at preventcancer.org. It's a $50 donation here from Amanda68. She says, last year I lost my dad to pancreatic cancer in a matter of 2 months. I've always watched AGDQ, but never donated. I don't want anyone to feel the pain I went through this summer, so I want to donate during FF8, a game he got me for Christmas one year that easily became my favorite of the franchise. Well, as they continue to get set up for the FF8 all-night mega co-op relay spectacular, some hype's coming in on the donations. We have $50 from Josh Z saying, getting hype for this Final Fantasy VIII run. Also $10 from GC Kid 333 saying, looking forward to this FF8 run. Best of luck to the runners. Well, and if you've been keeping an eye on some of the incentives and challenges that have been rolling by as we've been getting ready for the FF8 run, you know there are some naming bid wars that you can still get your dollars in to influence the result of, including what will Squall's name be? That's going to be the first incentive that we're going to have to decide on here before too long. Will it be Badger? Will it be Squeal? Will it be ... or any other result? We'll find out soon. Also, you can choose the name for Renoa, Griever, and Angelo. A $25 donation from Great Sword of Victory saying, let's use our speed strats to smash both these runs and cancer. Good luck, honk, and go fast, runners. $25 from No Name, and I can't believe this will be the only time we hear this tonight. Final Fantasy VIII was my first game in the series growing up and has a special place in my heart. Can't wait to see a speed run of it live, and good luck to the runners. There's a $10 donation from Bread84 and a little bit of a question that says, audience front row, what is the pattern on your onesie? Gotta be. Ah. And $25 from Verxel saying, Final Fantasy VIII hype. Locked in and ready for the long haul. Greetings from the front row. $25 from Code and Data saying amazing Zelda Relay, rock on. We'll put this one towards FF8 Omega Weapon. We got a ways to go on that Omega Weapon incentive, but it's okay. It's a long run. There's plenty of time to get your donations in, but make sure you do get them in. We need to see that blindfolded menu segment. We need to see Omega Weapon. You know we're going to be hearing the performance of Eyes on Me. I guess that would be a little bit earlier this morning, not really later tonight, but we will be hearing it performed. And we have somebody who's looking ahead to a little bit of a bonus game that's coming up a while from now, but $1,000 from Alaskan Emily saying, greetings from Alaskan. We need to make that Animorphs run happen. I need that game in my life. I suppose somebody does. $5 from Wakabo saying, good luck to the boys running FF8 tonight. It works so I can't enjoy it live, but I am excited. Well, if you work an 8-hour shift, you should be able to catch at least part of it on either side. We have $50 from 5KB saying the best thing about the new year is another week of AGDQ. Thank you very much, 5KB. $150 here from Killer Quail Studios saying, hi, AGDQ. I've been watching AGDQ for many years now. I thank you for all you do. It's my favorite time of the year. Keep it up. And also, hype. I mean, honk. The $15 donation from Samiris, and a great question. I should be sleeping, but how can I sleep when FF8 is coming up? And FF8 is coming up. We've got the co-op mega super spectacular in just a few moments. They're still getting it ready. And in the meantime, we are getting about as excited as possible. I'm sure you can see everybody who's pumped up in the front there. That was too easy. Well, $50 from Jeremy87 saying, I'm 3 years cancer-free and proud to donate to this wonderful cause. Looking forward to the run of one of my favorite games. Also, $20 from Evie Dorable saying, big ups to the front row, but I've got to wonder what they were trying to summon in that T-pose circle. Iron Wharf donates $100, saying, here's to the strongest teacher I know. She loved the students that were the hardest to love and was going through chemo at 4 in the morning before school, so she wouldn't miss even one day with them. Had to donate during the first game I ever pulled an all-nighter on, even though I only got to disc 3. Here's to crushing Omega Weapon. On $25 from Ren240 saying, greetings from Hungary. Thanks to everyone involved in the event. It always makes my January a lot better. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Ren, for your generosity. $20 from Corn on the Bob saying, finally able to donate to this great event. This is for my aunt who just found out she's cancer-free a few months ago. And they also point out, this FF8 speedrun is gonna kill my whole shift. And I believe it.